This week, blood might be thicker than water, but oil runs thicker than both, as we discuss the 2021 horror Titane. Hello and welcome to the Bloody Bits Horror Show. I am your host, Eddie, the Axe Jefferson, and joining me as always, disguised as a Cadillac, Tim Yobo. How you doing today, good sir?
A flaming hot Cadillac.
But Tim, we are not alone in this journey. No, we are joined once again by the woman who got kicked out of the firehouse for licking the fireman's pole. It's Candice.
I was wondering which thing you were going to go with here. The sociopath, the person who likes to fuck cars. I mean, if we want to get right down to it, not even put a clever twist on it. Doesn't need one.
No, it doesn't need a clever twist, but we have a clever guest as we are joined once more by longtime friend of the show, host of the Grindbin Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Wood, how are you doing today?
Oh, doing great. Talking Titane.
Talking Titane, because, folks, we were going to wrap up this month of remakes, but I was like, man, there are too many Tuesdays in this fucking month.
There snuck one in at the very end.
Are. So Mike snuck one in.
Surprise, surprise.
By mentioning in the Discord, hey, I really would like to talk about Titane. But, you know, of course, your Grindbin podcast, I think this is well past the year limiter on it. So,
yeah. Just missed the cutoff date by 2 decades.
Yeah. If we covered something from like 2021, Tanner would just die right there as soon as he loaded up his app. So I can't do that to him.
No, Mike, just pretend you're doing a different show for the first 15 minutes, and then when he goes to sleep, then you do the movie.
That's a good idea.
Give the background on a different movie, and then get into Titane.
Just start getting really into it in some like gutter balls or some shit. And then, okay, now we're actually doing Titane.
Yeah, now we're doing
Good night, Tanner. Anyway, let's talk about Titane.
Yes.
So here we are at the end of Remake May, covering a different movie. But I'm really glad you suggested this one. I had very, very little background with it.
Oh,
and
that's the way to watch it.
Yeah, made sure not to spoil a goddamn thing before we got into it. And before we do get into it, though, let's get to everybody's favorite subject, Candice. What have you been consuming?
Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. I have two things. I always have two things, but Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay.
What a fucking phenomenal game. Like, I feel like it's been so long since I played a game where I see the toys that they put in front of me, and once I figure out what they're expecting me to use with it, you're like, oh, I see the genius behind this level design. Like, everything has so much care put into it, and it's so planned out for every contingency that the human mind can think of. You can break all of their challenges in so many different fun ways. It's insane how good this fucking game is. Like,
I'm just so happy your kids got it for you for Mother's Day.
Yeah, it was real nice of them. That's why they weren't home last night.
Just kick the kids out. Fuck them.
It's a backyard. Go live in it.
But to continue on with this very positive
fun game.
Go lay in the dog shit in the yard.
Yeah, go roll around in the dog shit out back.
So, to continue on this positive theme, I don't really like competition shows or reality TV shows and stuff like that, but I found one.
Which one did you find? MILF Manor?
Lego Masters.
Oh God! It's on ABC too with Will Arnett, right?
Incredibly wholesome and genuinely funny, and it's a continued competition, so it's not different teams each episode. It's from the ground up. It's 10 teams competing for this one prize over the course of the season, and of course they're Lego builders, and the shit they come up with is insane. How do they have this kind of talent? And everybody in it is like super upbeat and positive. There's drama, but it's not drama like...
I don't think there's any goth Lego builders, Candice.
Actually, two of the chicks are cosplayers and one of them's goth.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes.
That's the one. Okay.
My husband calls them the eye candy because they're very pretty.
Fucking the whole political situation is going down the drain. Fucking environment's down. Let me build some Legos.
See, I love this. You got to add this to your old man comedy bit, Tim.
Competition shows.
Playing Legos, you know? I like
competition shows that aren't about how shitty the people are, but instead about how talented and competitive they are. And because when there's like drama, it's always about the pressure to win or lose. It's never, I don't like this person because their clothes are stupid. They never talk shit.
Has somebody's like gigantic sculpture fallen off?
Yes, and it was devastating. Oh man, I had tears in my eyes. I actually had tears in my eyes for a fucking competition show about Legos. You get so drawn into it.
How high were you?
It's fantastic. No, I was dead sober. It was right
it
before
a
I started
Lego
watching.
The World Trade Center?
It was right before I started the episode.
Jim, that would be kind of fun.
The other team made a Lego
airplane.
Airplane. Oh man!
So yes, it's two fun, uplifting things to offset Tim and Eddie's let's watch the biggest pieces of shits imaginable make fools of themselves on live TV. Instead, this is look at all these incredibly talented, wonderful people and the things they can accomplish.
Thanks for the writing strike. That's why that sounds on fun. ABC at 9 o'clock at night.
This is a few years ago, so there's no writer strike.
No.
But add it to your list for your Type 5, Tim. Go ahead.
Yeah. You got to add the bit about the World Trade Center of Legos.
We be shitty assholes all the time. Sometimes we need something positive in our lives.
I just love this idea too, Tim. You were like complaining about politics while like Candice is watching a show where people just like make things out of Legos.
Well, no, because I was trying to act like a goth person who was into doing Legos with how the whole world is gray and black, and what's the point?
Just because you're goth doesn't mean
Okay.
you're depressed. That is a stereotype.
Yeah, Tim was doing a bit. So, Tim, what have you been consuming?
Like if the Cure did a whole Lego album.
Buy the shit out of that Lego set. The Cure Lego set.
The Cure Lego set.
It's wilting black roses.
Would buy, by the way.
Every Lego and it's black.
As you said, that's got to be the worst jigsaw puzzle to put together.
You put it together, it's just a broken Lego flower pot. You're like, oh.
This symbolizes all of us.
Missing.
Yeah. So, Tim, what have you been consuming, my friend?
I just did a rewatch again. I guess now this is the third time for John Wick 4. Because I think it's now out on streaming.
Wow.
It's so fucking good, man.
That's 3 hours, isn't it?
It's 2 hours and 50 minutes that go by like
that's 3 hours.
Movie.
What, 3 hours?
It goes by so fucking fast because the last time my wife watched it with me and she said the same thing, 3 hours. And I'm like, trust me, don't worry. And it flies by. It's so fucking good.
You're right about RRR. So.
See? That's how long is that movie?
I don't know,
movie doesn't seem like it's a 3 hour thing, right? Because it's
that
good.
could just be your perception of time in your old age.
No.
Yeah.
As I get older, things go by slower, faster. So
faster. That's why the
slower,
movie didn't
faster?
seem slower or faster.
Yeah, what did you just say?
my brain gets slower, but time gets faster.
Okay,
clearly. So, everybody go out and watch John Wick 4, and then play with their Legos. So, Mike,
I
what
just
about
said it before? I can't think of a movie that has gone up to 4 fucking movies in a series, and each one is better than the one before it.
I actually stopped at 2 because I didn't like it.
Yeah, same here.
I did not like the world they were building. I thought it was dumb. And I was like, I think I'm done with this.
2 is the weakest one out of them all, and it's still good. But 3 with Halle Berry, oh, come on.
Never saw it.
Come on.
Right. So, Mike, it's been a little while since you've been on the show. What have you consumed in the meantime?
Also playing a lot of Zelda, so that's been a lot of fun.
Have you made a dick with it shoots fire out of the top? Because you can do that.
Wow, Candice.
These are the toys that they gave Candice to play with, and this is done.
So this is why Candice is waiting for somebody to make a giant cock in the Lego show.
Yeah. Okay, I'll make a big cock in Zelda and I'll send it to you, Candice.
Yeah, and have fire shooting out of the tip.
Yes, I'll make sure it has fire shooting out the tip. I'll have to try that today. I've also been playing a lot of Advance Wars, so I've just been kind of going back and forth between those two games.
Really working on that Switch?
Yeah, that Switch is all I need. It's great. I can just take it wherever I go. So sit in the backyard and play Switch. It's nice.
Don't you feel like a kid playing that thing?
In a fun way. It's okay to be an adult and act like a kid. Come on, Tim.
Get a Steam Deck. Be a man.
Well, before we started recording, Candice was talking about like old man controllers. I do have to buy like these different controllers for the sides of the Switch.
I do too. Yep. Because your hands cramp up really bad. I have Hori controllers.
Same.
Party.
Yep.
Yeah, because they're bigger.
Yeah.
Well, just every time I pick up the Switch with the original Joy-Cons on, I feel like I'm going to break it. Like it's so tiny.
With your hands, I bet.
Because it's made for kids.
Right.
It's not made for your big man hands and Candice's big lady hands.
Big lady hands.
So you won't play a Switch, Tim, because it's for children, is what you're saying?
It's Nintendo. The last thing I had from Nintendo was a Nintendo 64, and I was like, you know what? It's time to put away these childish video games and play real games.
Wow,
Dreamcast.
Man, the marketing got him.
Don't lose this. Don't lose the sparkle in your eye, Tim. You can still enjoy things in a childlike way.
Tim grew up, bought a Dreamcast, and started playing Space Channel 5, the dancing rhythm game with Michael Jackson.
It's a redhead, man. Come
on. So other than playing Switch, which is a child's toy, the only other thing I've really consumed a lot of is I've been watching the new season of Top Chef, and I'm almost caught up.
You should watch Lego Masters.
Nah.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm like Tim, There's a lot of things going on in the world. I can't really think about Legos, Candice.
What if they built the Twin Towers?
He can't dedicate as much to it.
What if someone builds a diorama of January 6th with the Legos? Would that get you involved?
They should. Maybe like the JFK assassination, and I'll be in.
Oh,
yeah, that's what we need. The Lego show, like all the great tragedies throughout history.
Yes, that would be a great challenge. That's the finale. Yeah. It's like
that'd be
a tragedy. Make a
this
Lego
is Jonestown.
And check it out, kids. If you push this button over here, the ovens actually turn on, and you can see the smoke billowing out of the towers. So there you go.
But notice that the fuel won't get sufficiently hot enough to melt the beams.
No, no. Fuel can't melt Legos. Nope.
Fuel cannot melt Legos. Nope.
Oh, man.
And the only other thing I watched was last night I went to a screening of Boogie Nights. So I saw that on film in the theater. And it was amazing. It was great to see it with a crowd. Because I've always thought it's a very funny movie, but I've never seen it in the theater.
Did everybody get quiet when you see his dick at the end?
No, everybody clapped. Because we're all lovers of the movie, and it's like, yes, it's finally out. There you go.
There we go.
Everybody stood up with boners to salute.
Oh, of course, in solidarity. Yeah. But it's such a funny movie, and it's hard to translate that to a living room. But when you're in a crowded theater, people are laughing at all the parts that you would laugh at. It's a really funny movie. And it just switches into that amazing. It's my favorite movie of all time, and it switches into the drama just seamlessly. So great movie. Excited to see it.
Jealous of that, man. That's a great one to go catch in the theater for sure, for sure. But what a fantastic movie too. So I haven't really been consuming much myself. We went to the Aquarium of the Pacific down in Long Beach.
That's fun.
Man, you ever want to go to a real nice place? Go to Long Beach, man. Let me tell you. Just ships everywhere, cargo ships.
Aquarium. A rich man's zoo. Everything's over glass and water. Look at this fucking rich motherfucker.
What was your favorite part?
No, it's a zoo for the idiots who can't stop putting their hands in the tiger cage.
Well, but you can pet sharks, Tim.
Sharks love that.
Okay.
Petting sharks is a childlike thing.
That's why they all die in captivity, right?
Tim, you're going to learn one day that sound you make out of your desperation and sadness, it gives me energy. You will learn that. No, so the funniest, because of course I'm there doing a tight five, right? So the guy's showing us. Yeah. No, so the guy is showing us all this stuff. He's like, these are starfish. Here, reach in and pet them. And, you know, people are petting them. And he gets over to the sea urchins, right? Who's like, here's sea urchins. You'll notice they have a lot of spines on them and everything. That's, you know, to keep things from eating them. But do you know what really likes eating sea urchins? And I said, yeah, me. And the guy's like, yeah, okay. So
he's like, don't break my rhythm, motherfucker. I got to start all over again. All right, here's a starfish.
So I like how you go to a place for fun and wonder, and you're just an asshole to the people who work there.
Well, yeah, they have to be there. I don't.
Yeah. And before he could finish up, Eddie, you're like, just a little side question. Do you think that jet fuel can melt steel beams?
Yeah.
Do you think sea urchin ink could melt steel beams?
I handed him a comment card to rate me on a scale of 1 to 5 of how funny I am and how much he likes me, just like I do with everybody I interact with in public.
And it's already filled out to 5. So
yeah, it's already filled out for him. No, so that was cool. We got to touch the little moonlight jellyfish. Those are neat, but it's just like touching water because they're like 99.
Can you actually feel them?
Yeah,
those you can. Oddly, the ones you couldn't really feel were the jellyfish that had the big tentacles sticking out. They said don't touch those.
Oh, no kidding! They might have venomous nematocysts inside of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the end of the tour, the guy told Eddie to put his hand in the Man-O-War tank.
He was like, "Go ahead."
Yeah, funny guy. Yeah.
Hey, over you! They're over there. Chuckles. Why don't you stick your head in the tank? No, so but my wife got sad because the sea urchin, when you touch the little spines, they move their spines toward you, like trying to figure out what you are. So she's like, "Oh, they're kind of intelligent. That bums me out." And I was like, wait till you learn about pork.
No kidding. Wait until you learn about pigs.
Most other things we eat. So then we get to the end of it, though. We get to the gift shop, of course. And having 2 children, you know, you can't not go to the gift shop.
Yeah.
I got in there, and folks, it's the first time I've ever gone to a gift shop at like a zoo or one of these places and not immediately felt like I was being raped. Because the prices were like reasonable.
Oh,
I just thought you meant nobody assaulted you in the store.
Well, that as nice. Well. Yeah. I mean, there was a guy in the parking structure, but
well, it's because you look like a criminal and they're frisking you to see if you've stolen anything. You just perceive it as sexual assault.
That tracks. Yeah, they probably think I abducted the woman and her kids.
I bet he's pocketed a sea urchin. Check him.
He's got an urchin in his pocket.
What was your big joke in the gift shop because you got to make an entrance, Eddie? So you walked in, you know, with your family. It's a crowded gift shop, you know, on a Saturday afternoon. What was the big joke that got the whole crowd?
I marched in there immediately. I said, "Folks, listen up. The real gift is right here," and I pointed at my dick.
Beautiful.
So I highly recommend Aquarium of the Pacific if you're ever out in beautiful Long Beach, California. Just as long as you don't get shot on the way, you're fine. So we're here this week.
Love that Snoop Dogg song about the aquarium, by the way. Always my favorite one.
Yeah. So we're here this week, though, to talk about Titane. And Mike, you brought it up in the Discord. You really wanted to discuss this. So let's start out with you, buddy. What is your history with the film Titane?
Well, I saw this a couple months ago. I had seen the director's first film, Raw, a couple years ago.
That's a good movie.
And she's great. So her work is very reminiscent to me of like earlier Cronenberg stuff. And so I loved it. It's like a great body horror movie, and also it's a great movie. So I'm very interested, honestly, to hear Candice's opinion about it, because I feel like it falls into that A24 level that
you'd be surprised.
Okay.
Well, why don't we do this then? Candice, what about you?
I saw it when it came out. It was on a top of a lot of people's lists whose opinions I respect. And I was like, I'll watch that eventually. That sounds pretty good. For some reason, in my head, I thought it was a rape revenge film.
Yeah.
And I had that thought in my head, like the trailer makes it seem that way or something. And then I watched it randomly one afternoon. I was like, I have a free afternoon. Oh, look, Titane's here. Let's watch this. And I was blown away. I was like, this movie's fucking brilliant. I was like, I love this movie. You never know where this movie's going to go. I think like 30 minutes into it, I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
That's definitely true.
And there's so much, and watching it a second time, I caught so much more of smaller details that I didn't pick up on the first one, because it perfectly strikes that balance where it doesn't spoon feed you all the plot and the inner workings of the characters, but it shows you just enough to pick up on it without beating you over the head with it, like Lady Vengeance does.
Taking a dig at Lady Vengeance.
And it is an open-ended movie that I actually enjoy because I thought they did it well. So fuck you, A24. You still suck.
Okay, so with those shots at A24, for those shots at A24 and Lady Vengeance, Tim, what's your history with Titane?
Mike told me to watch it, and I did.
Oh, okay.
Is this the second time you've seen it, though, right, Tim? Like, I told you to watch it like a long time ago. When I first saw it, was like, I don't know what the fuck I just watched.
Yeah, when you watch it the first time, you just sit there in silence trying to figure out what you just watched.
Yeah, because I didn't see the trailer. I only saw the cover poster for it, and that was it. So,
Mike, Tim listens to you. Can you tell him he needs to calm down on the interrupting? He gets a little bit too drunk sometimes, and maybe cut it with the sports games. Maybe go play some Zelda.
That's why I'm here, right?
Maybe cheer up.
That's true.
I don't know.
Yeah, cheer up. Yeah,
the way he reacted. The way he reacted to this movie, I don't know if he liked it very much.
Dude, you seem very depressed today, dude. What's going on?
I want a car, baby.
You want a car? Okay. Well, that's very fair. Man, I just want some of those straps they had in the back.
My wife's odometer is running out.
I know. They seemed very, very handy. So no history for me on this one. Mike said I should watch it also.
So this was your first viewing this week?
Yeah, first viewing of Titane.
Did you watch it with your wife?
No.
She would like this movie.
The number of times I had to beat off in the first 20 minutes of this movie, it was just not. It's a good thing she wasn't around.
Well, I mean, this is a total Tim movie. There's tits everywhere.
There are, but there's some fucking nipple drama going on too.
Nipple drama. I hope you mean trauma, but just in case, Tim, is it like a Days of Our Lives?
Yeah.
Did they lose the competitions? That kind of drama.
As the areola turns, what's
one of those nipples looked like it was made out of a Lego.
Oh God!
Oh, what if you had a nipple piercing, but there was like a Lego brick attached to it too? That'd be awesome.
It could be a goth Lego nipple and be like in Veronica where they've got the eyeballs.
Yeah.
Stop talking about that movie.
It's funny. I tried to describe Titane to my wife, just at the. And I still had half an hour left of the movie. She's like, so what are you watching? I'm like, I don't really know. I just kind of ran through the events of it. And she's like, wow. She goes, well, still doesn't sound as bad as that Danzig movie. And I'm like, you know what? You're right.
Nothing is.
Like, if you want me, when you finish, I'll be out in the car.
Did you like this movie, Eddie?
Yes, I loved it. It was very good.
Yeah,
very interesting movie.
It's softly horror adjacent.
Oddly enough,
with the body horror,
it made me want to go watch Infinity Pool again.
Oh, I still haven't seen that.
Not related in any meaningful way. I mean, they're thematically very different. But I mean, you've got the Cronenberg connection.
I was going to say something Cronenberg, yeah.
The body horror connection, yeah. But so I guess we can get into a little bit of the background on this film then. Mike, as you had alluded to, this is written and directed by Julia Ducournau. I hope I said
nailed
that
it.
Right. Yeah.
It's Ducournau. It's
Ducournau.
Ducournau. Julia Ducournau.
Ah, okay. Best known previously for writing and directing Raw. This film.
The Eddie Murphy movie?
Yeah, Eddie Murphy Raw.
She did Eddie Murphy Raw.
She
can say it, Eddie.
I was wondering why the car had red leather seats, but now I figured it out.
Yeah. Candice is like, I didn't know she directed Richard Pryor Raw.
I was just about to mention Richard Pryor.
Oh, boy.
She thought it was Richard Pryor. That's why she agreed to it. Didn't realize it was Eddie Murphy.
No, that was her prior film, not Pryor.
Oh.
Oh, man. And this one, it's another one of those 9-minute standing ovation at Cannes.
It won the Palme d'Or.
Well, yeah. Won the Palme d'Or.
You know what? I don't think I've ever seen a movie that good where I stand up 9 minutes clapping for it.
Well,
that's just their tradition. Like the other day when Indiana Jones got 4 minutes, that's actually a sign of a bad movie too.
Oh, okay.
It was like, it sucked. They didn't give it the 9-10-minute thing. You know,
it's about a dial. The new.
It's about a dial.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Dial of Destiny or some shit.
Can I just say one thing about those movies? Why did they forget that he has the proof of existence of God? The Holy Grail. They drank out of the fucking Holy Grail. That's it. Indiana Jones has
but they put it away in that... Wait, hold on. But they put it away in that warehouse and nobody ever talked about it.
That was the Ark of the Covenant.
Oh, yeah. Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah, the cup gets left.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like,
Sean Connery, a.k.a. his dad, drinks it. Mm-hmm. So now, also, where are the stakes? Because he's immortal now. The whole thing was if you drank from the Holy Grail, you're immortal.
Well, doesn't his father drink from it?
Well, he doesn't?
No, I don't think so.
No, he doesn't.
So wait, this guy's just got an immortal dad, and that's not the sequel?
Maybe his dad drank and kissed him on the lips.
So and then he was in Highlander.
Oh,
later on, it's the same guy.
Okay, you know what? That makes a lot more
Ramirez.
Sense. Yeah, he got quickened. Man. So I don't have a ton of background on a lot of the other actors in this. It's they are kind of mostly lesser known French actors. Although Nipples, she was the lead in Raw.
Yeah. I thought she looked familiar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Garance Marillier.
I like that I can just call a character Nipples and people are like, oh yeah, Nipples.
Well, they make a big show of hers.
Yeah. So I guess we can begin unless anybody has any background stuff they want to throw in.
Other than the fact that every single cast member was spot on. Like, they were perfect in this movie.
Oh, fantastic.
Amazing
acting.
acting.
Play the father is incredible because you need somebody who's built like he is. Unless he did like a fucking Chris Evans thing, like Captain America style on him.
Yeah, and Vincent Linden, who played Vincent in this.
He looks like a French William Holden.
Yeah, I guess I could see that. He's been in about 78 movies, it says on the Internet Movie Database here, but I mean, none of them.
They're all French, so who cares?
Yeah, they're all French, so who cares? That's a good point, Tim.
It's a freedom film.
Come on. Yeah, listen to the bloody chase. Your French fucking connection on movies, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
God damn, these hard takes, man. Were you like a big Freedom Fry guy or something?
No. I love French fries, but French movies suck for the most part.
Please, let's not get into the French fries.
French movies suck. Oh my god.
French movies just in general suck. Okay.
For the most part.
That's like me saying all A24 movies suck.
Hold on, Tim, let me give you a little backing track and then do like a little type 5 on why French movies suck.
Okay. So you've got Legos. Yeah, Tim going hard on Legos, goth people, the French.
Let's hear it, Tim. Come on.
Are there any French goths?
Oh, you think created it?
The whole country's goth. Come on, man.
We got some fucking emo country, yeah.
The problem is you can't tell the difference between them and mimes because they all dress in black, paint their faces white, and don't talk.
Mime, the original goth. Yeah.
So much so was the first goth. Oh, God. Really is a Tears of the Clown situation. So we start out with this little cunt of a girl in the back seat.
The shittiest kid. She's worse than the kid in the Babadook.
Oh my god.
Yeah, finally somebody said it.
Fucking bitch would get Babaduked. So
if this was my kid, I wouldn't let her put a seatbelt on.
I'd be like, that's fine, and then slam on the brakes really fast.
Brake check.
Right. Oh, you want to hit the back of my seat? Come on.
My dad used to do that to us kids. He'd brake check to make sure we were wearing our seatbelts.
I mean, it works.
I just thought about that. That's really irresponsible. It's a wonder I didn't fuck a car. So,
well, but he knew if your head slammed into something, you'd be fine.
Oh, that's
you'd
true.
Fuck the car up.
Yeah, let's be a giant Eddie head-shaped hole in the side of the car, and you just get up and walk away from it.
Yeah, pretty much. Just like the Terminator. I get up, walk away, my head reforms.
The Hulk punch this car? What the
fuck? Yeah, they can just cast me as the Juggernaut, man. Just plow right there. I don't even need the helmet. But I probably couldn't find a helmet that fit. So, yeah, this little bitch is just like humming in tune with the engine of the car.
She's going,
right. Thank you, Candice.
At first, I thought they were really driving fast. Then I'm like, oh no, is that little fucking kid doing? Oh my god!
So the dad just like cranks up the radio. He's like, I can't hear.
Well,
this.
First of all, look, what the fuck kind of music is he listening to? Some fucking Appalachian fucking music from 1908.
Yeah, that was weird, man. Yeah,
it's like folk music.
See the fucking choice. French, how pretentious they are.
Oh, God.
Oh my god!
It was actually giving me vibes of like, like old American like car movies, actually, like Smokey and the Bandit.
Where it's like banjos playing and
it's giving me like Jerry Reed vibes. Yeah.
Tracks. So, she's humming along. He cranks up the tunes. She's just like trying to get his attention. So she starts kicking the back seat.
So you knew at first it was like, well, maybe she just is autistic or something, and she's just humming along with the sound of this car. Yeah. But then it's clear she's just a bitch. Because she starts kicking the back of his seat for no reason other than just to be an asshole.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's also to what I kept getting throughout the movie was just like there's no connection between her and her father. Like he views her as a burden, and she's just like, you know what?
I view that fucking kid as a burden too.
Yeah, that kid sucks, Mike.
That kid's a sociopath.
I mean, I don't want to victim blame here, but sometimes the victim does meet the killer halfway.
Yeah, it's like, what if you had a serial killer for a child, and it was apparent from the beginning that they're a fucking sociopath? You're not going to emotionally connect.
She'd be sitting on the other side of the fucking car.
You may not be wrong. That's why I love how it's so vague about it. It's just like, it's kind of interesting because I kept thinking of like the second time I watch it now, like, why did we open with this scene?
I have a theory about that.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. So she unbuckles herself and starts like trying to climb into the back of the car. He turns around, freaks out. He's like, put your fucking buckle on, you dumb bitch. And then swerves over, hits like the guardrail and just eats shit. Right. We cut to the doctors, and we get this nice little them doing a surgical incision on the side of her head, and they put this cool like Ed Hardy designed titanium plate.
It was pretty cool. I didn't know that they actually literally they fucking screw it into your skull, huh?
Yeah.
And it's cool that it had that tiger design on the side of it and everything.
Look cool.
Thing. Yeah.
I have a lighter that matches it, actually.
You can get the Affliction one for half price now.
Yeah. It's last year's model. So yeah, they throw it in her head. She they have her head up in traction and everything, and they're like, okay, just don't beat her in the head that hard anymore, because now she's got a plate in there. It's strong, but it could fuck things
I wonder, can we keep her in that fucking contraption?
And I don't think I picked up on this the first time around, but the dad's a doctor.
Yeah.
I picked up on it this time around because they're like, oh, let us know if there's any change in cognitive behavior or speech, and they're like, well,
Yeah, you know what to look for.
So Ken, it's the first time you watched the movie. What did you think when he started filling her stomach up?
I thought maybe she had to have a lot of physical therapy done after this, and so he was the one she worked with. And so if she was having problems, he'd be the one to check it out. That's what I thought it was at first. And then the second time I realized, oh, he's a fucking doctor. That makes sense.
The second time when I watched it this time, it was like I realized a lot more of like the dad's expression throughout this is like he doesn't even seem to care at all.
Right.
It's just like all of this is just such a burden to him.
Yep.
The fact that like she did this and it's like whatever, I don't give a fuck.
I feel like the way I interpreted it was that he knew something was wrong with her from the beginning, even before the head injury, that there was something really wrong with his daughter.
So they, like you said, Mike, he's like, all right, look for any weird behavioral stuff. So he's like, okay. They walk out of the hospital. This little kid just starts dry humping a car.
Yeah, she like hugs it. You would think
you
would think she'd be as scared of a car since she was just in a horrific car accident, but instead she literally embraces it and kisses it and gives out that contented sigh when you get a hug from someone you love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
she loves it.
Weird.
Yeah.
Because they told her they put titanium in her head now, and she's like almost like a car.
I'm part car.
Yeah, she loves that.
I'm like a Volvo.
So that was like the second time I beat off. Now we cut to modern day, and she's decided she's going to make that scar on the side of her head like a feature.
Yeah, put a bell on it.
We see her, doing the cool walk through the
this music that's playing is so fucking good too. I love the music in this movie.
Oh yeah, a lot of bangers in this one. So she puts like I don't know what this hair thing is called, but it looks like a chopstick. So I'm going to call it that. She uses that to pin up her hair, and then she's walking into this. I guess it's a car show, but no one's paying attention to the cars.
It's actually a dipstick, I think.
No, it's not.
No, it's it's one of those metal. It's one of those hair chopsticks. I used to have some. I don't know what they're actually called.
Yeah. So she's got that, and then there's just all these women like oiling themselves up and just rubbing their tits on cars. And
what type of car show is this?
Yeah,
it's
like some kind of Fast and Furious.
Cars, right?
It's all about the models. It's like, let's just watch these really hot, very scantily clad women just writhing on top of these beautiful cars. Like, it is every man's dream.
No reason. You're going from one car to the other. This is going on over here. Somebody's getting thrown out for touching somebody.
Yeah,
It is weird, Tim. It's like all the shows are going on at once.
Yeah,
it's just like you're walking around and like, yeah, here's some women like getting all soapy washing a car. Here's one that strips on a car. It's like there's too much going on. It's sensory overload. Like they gotta feature some of these. You know what I mean? Like go over to this booth for a while or something. Yeah,
and then like put time in between too, because you don't want to overexert yourself looking at too much at one time.
I mean, my refractory period's getting worse with my old age. So can we just, give me a minute? I mean, I can pause for sure. But... So she goes over to her Cadillac that's all inflamed, and you can just see her religion from this angle, man.
Holy shit, yeah.
When she's like bending over to put her lipstick on, and it's like full on. You could give her a colonoscopy.
I thought you were saying to put her lips on the hood because.
Well, she does that too.
Whew. Yeah. So she's just basically like dry humping.
Eddie,
this
can
car.
You raise your hands, please?
No.
She's twerking. She's grinding up against it.
Can I tell you, I'm watching the movie while we're reviewing it. So if it gets quiet over here. No, she just grinds the shit out of this car. And I'm like, this poor car. But don't worry.
Leaving snail trails everywhere.
I was worried for the hood when she started like doing her like leg moves on top.
Yeah, that can't be good for the fucking undercoating, right?
Yeah.
For the undercoat.
All the flames are fucked up. Yeah. Some guy comes back and says, "What the fuck did you do to my car?"
Yeah, she's licking
What is all over it?
Yeah. She's like licking the hood of the car. It's fucking crazy.
Did my car come? What the fuck happened?
So
Eddie has now said licking the hood 2 times.
Well, because that's what she's doing. I'm looking.
She's just literally licking the hood while she's grinding against it.
She's got black lipstick on, so she might be really into Legos. I'm not really sure. So then she gets this big crowd surrounding her, right? Everybody's taking pictures. They're like,
what the fuck is she doing?
Yeah, they're getting her autograph. They're like, wow, that was amazing the way you spread your pussy open on the hood of the car.
Because it was legit autograph. It wasn't even like photos of her to have it autographed.
Yeah.
Which I imagine if you go into like a strip club, right? Like I won't kink shame anybody, but we all know there's a person who loves strippers and porn, right?
Probably
you can just say my name. It's fine.
All right, yeah. Candice, if you were going to a strip club to get your favorite porn's autograph, wouldn't you bring a picture of her or like
your
a
favorite
VHS
porn's
cover?
autograph?
Yeah, you'd bring your favorite porn. You'd be like, "Can you sign my VHS copy of Deep Throat or whatever?"
Not just a notebook.
Oh, I thought you would bring like something they made, like a prosthetic of them or something. Can you sign your pocket pussy?
Can you sign my real doll?
Yeah.
Can you sign my divorce papers? My wife.
Anytime that I'd ever been to a strip club in my life, I always just bring like an open book, like like I was seeing a bunch of celebrities. Tim, I get all their autographs.
Oh, and then you take Polaroids in there and have them sign the Polaroid. It's fun.
Yeah, Tim. What everybody loves is when you go into a strip joint with a camera.
Oh yeah, no. If you're if you bring in a nice one, you're just like, no. I'm a kind of a photographer, so it's okay.
I'm a reporter.
Yeah, I got a little press badge in my hat and everything.
No, you could be like, I heard this place was haunted. I'm trying to catch some pictures of orbs.
Yeah,
that's why you have
I like to bring in one of those old-fashioned cameras, Candice, like one of the ones like the big flash bulb.
You gotta put the powder on it.
You have to hold still for 20 minutes.
You got the sheet instead over your head. It's over your crotch.
Mm-hmm. And I say, can you hang on that pole for 20 seconds, just in the same spot? Everybody has to only take a bit. Yeah.
I'm almost done with the
photo. Keep your hair floating too.
So she she goes in. First of all, they all shower together, which I'm a big fan of. And then I the next note I have is I need to grow long hair again. Because
oh my god, this made my fucking balls hitch. For real, I got that tingle in my balls.
Tim got a hitch in his giddy up. So, she gets her hair caught in this other broad's nipple ring, and just her mouth is on nipple patrol for like a good 3 minutes of this movie, and I'm like, dude.
The lens does not shy away from showing her trying to extricate her hair with her face all up on her tits.
And I was probably 10 minutes into describing this scene to my wife, and she's like, was this some dude that wrote and directed it? And I'm like, no, it wasn't. No. It was a chick, actually. So she gets tailed out by some stalker asshole. Runs out to her car, hops in, and the dude's like, look, I'm just like a big fan who's been obsessively stalking you for years. I waited out here for a few hours.
That should make you feel your car 30 yards away, or 80 meters away, I should say.
In this alleyway that's all dark and far away from everyone else.
Right. And what's fun is they're playing with like setting it up as he's the danger, but he leans in, gives her a kiss. She starts kissing back.
She leans into it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of a forced kiss, but yeah.
Oh, it's totally a forced kiss. And at first she's like, no. But then you see a switch go off and she starts leaning into it. And she starts kissing back and pulling him further in.
And she reaches back into her hair. She grabs that chopstick and fucking kakiyaras this motherfucker right through the ear.
Straight into the ear.
Now,
and he's like foaming onto her shoulder.
Everybody foams when she kills them. It's very weird. But
yeah, if she gets them in the ear with her chopstick, for some reason they foam from the mouth.
The eyes roll back. I was like, dude, I was doing the same thing, but I was foaming from my cock.
Of all the movies for people to get horny to, Titane, really.
Well, it works for me. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. Mike knows me. That's why he suggested it. So she goes home to wash up after her date and loads his dead ass in the back seat. Goes home.
Has clearly done this before because she is unfazed.
Yeah, but there's so little blood in this movie. When she kills somebody, right?
Yeah,
not largely blood later, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's largely bloodless, but somehow still feels really violent.
When she helps that guy push his stool in,
yeah. It's helping to level it out, It had a wobble the whole time.
Turns out I just needed this guy's face. So she kills this.
Book of matches.
Yeah. I got to match your jaw on the bottom of this stool. So she ties her hair back up, goes home, takes a shower, and pops out of that. Immediately, we just hear this pounding at this door. She's like, what the fuck is this? Goes to answer the door, butt-ass naked, too.
Oh, she is full frontal, everything. And she looks so awkward, too. She's all, like, glistening, but she just kind of, like, hunched over and kind of, like, shuffling around.
Yeah. Walks forward because, like, the mirror is, like, rippling from the knocking on the door.
Yeah, she's not at home. She goes back into the, I think the...
right. She's at the showroom, yeah. So she walks out there. And the car has got like a nice hat on and it's holding flowers.
And it's got a fedora on. In third gear, baby.
It talks to her. It talks to her like the hood
in the
lifts
red,
up.
shift down.
And it's all like, "Hey, lady, want to come fuck me?" And I'm like, "Whoa, what the fuck?"
Yeah, this is a fucking Dune Buggy voice from the Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
Yeah, you got to watch the English dub, by the way. That's when the car gets its voice. You know?
Yeah, because they got to really drive the point home for English people. Yeah.
So she walks up to the car, starts like rubbing its headlight, and just kind of tracing. It gets into the car.
Yeah, and it's like the camera's far away, and all you see is the car like with the light on top of it and its headlights on, and you just see her get in, close it, and then it holds there.
Yep.
But it's also like ominous.
Yeah.
This car is better than Christine, right?
Oh.
Christine didn't fuck. Come on, man.
Yeah. He didn't stick his dick in her tailpipe.
Movie, yeah.
Yeah. But Christine never delivers, though.
Well, she's a car from the 50s, right?
Yeah, that's true.
She's uptight.
Yeah. She's saving herself for marriage, or at least lease renewal.
Yeah, you can't just lease Christine. You got to buy. You got to purchase. Right.
Why buy the oil when you can lease the car?
Yeah. So she climbs into the car, and then it just starts bouncing up and down.
And it's got those fucking hydraulic pumps.
Yeah.
So it's really going up and down.
So good. So good. And this is like, okay, Eddie, this is the first time you've seen this movie. You don't know much about it. And you're just like, wait, what now? Like, First you're watching it, you're like, okay, she got in the... Yeah, it's like, okay, she got in the car, but what is she doing in there?
Right.
Maybe somebody's in there killing her, right?
Yeah, the mind boggles trying to figure out the physicality of this. And it never gives you a straight answer.
You cut to inside the car, and it's one of those bench seats in the front, and both of her arms are tied up with the seatbelt.
Mm-hmm. She's got her arms wrapped around the seatbelts like several times.
Yeah. Her knees are
bells going
up
ding,
to like...
ding, 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 because the seatbelts aren't connected.
Man.
This is an older Cadillac. It did not have that feature.
Her knees are like tucked into her shoulders, and she is just getting pounded out by this car.
The seat should be reclining and popping back up fast.
That car is laying down tailpipe.
And right as it busts, the horn goes up. It's all bang. It's great. So she wakes up the next morning, and you're like,
and by the way, she looks like she had the best sex in her entire life. She is spent by the end of it.
Oh, yeah. She's done. When you see it through the sunroof, it's like, oof.
What a great shot that is, though, right?
Fantastic.
Oh, God, I know.
It's so good.
Because it could be a sunroof. It could be like a cheap hotel with the mirror on the ceiling she's looking up at. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a beautiful shot.
And then the next morning, she wakes up looking like my wife after we first got together.
Okay.
Because
so she's covered, your wife's covered in bruises and
dripping
grease.
Yeah. Oh, that's how you know it was good sex.
There shouldn't be any oil left to drip.
That's true. So she's like, just gets up and gets some cornflakes.
Well, no. At first, she looks like she's in pain, like she's sore because she got fucked out. She's a little sore down there.
Yeah.
And then she sticks her hands down her panties and pulls them up, and they're covered in thick black oil.
Yeah. Old spent
Do you just
motor
go to
oil.
breakfast after that?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean,
you gotta eat.
Before you go to breakfast?
She got to fuel up. She spent a lot of calories the night before.
Oh, yeah, because the father's the one just having the cornflakes. She takes like half the fucking refrigerator with her.
Yeah, she grabs a buttload of shit, man. And the dad comes in and makes himself like fettuccine Alfredo for breakfast.
Yeah.
With the choice.
French shit, right? Like just eating fettuccine Alfredo for breakfast or something over there.
Yeah, that's big French food.
She
also
grabs, like bread.
They don't even say a word to each other.
No,
like not at all. At this point, they do not even acknowledge one another. Like they're standing in the same kitchen. I love that shot where he's making his morning fettuccine, a French classic.
Yeah,
and she's at the fridge, and they don't even once look at each other or turn towards each other.
It's
just an
his
entire scene. Yeah,
is walking bow-legged. Her hair's fucked up, and she's dripping oil. And he's like, just nothing. Just like, yeah, whatever.
It doesn't seem surprising to him. That would just be like, it's a fucking Tuesday and my daughter's dripping oil again.
It seems like she lives a very high-risk lifestyle. So he's probably just completely tuned out any signs of what she's done the night before. Because he probably does not want to know.
And a little pushing on things.
Coming home and smelling like a fucking new car.
Here it smells. New car smell in her pussy.
Why do you have that? Why do you have that new car smell on the tip of your toe?
And
it's revealed later, by the way, that she's 32 years old.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she's like still living with their parents and doing this and stuff.
See, when I first watched this movie, the thing that I got with like the whole breakfast scene was like they blamed each other for the accident, right? Like he's pissed off at her because if she wasn't being a little fucking brat bitch, then they've already gotten into this accident and fucked their lives up. And she's pissed off at him because he's the one who was driving the car when she got into the accident. But that was just on the first viewing.
My read of it is that she has potentially a workaholic, cold, unemotional, and unfeeling father. And it's bizarre that bled into her sexual preferences of fucking machines. So, a little Freudian here, but whatever. So she has a little breakfast. And on the news, we just learn... some kid went missing. That's not got nothing to do with this. But anyhow, you should know
when
about
you're watching a movie and the background has a news story about missing kids, that doesn't mean anything at all.
Go feed your cat, Tim.
Or the fact that there's a serial killer on the loose? Question mark?
Yeah, some guy.
The most shocking thing.
6 dead adults in this area?
Yeah. So there's been a string of murders, and they said it's all the same, like very similar, right?
Yeah.
The most shocking thing to me, though, is they said that the guy who was killed was 47. And I was like, that dude was 47?
And that's what he's doing with his life.
Yeah. I was
chasing after a car slut.
Yeah, that guy's he's not eating fettuccine Alfredo for breakfast. That dude looks great for 47.
Is that the one they were talking about? There's no way
he was 47. That's what I'm saying. Yobo, he was you never had like your 47-year-old midlife crisis where you were going to like car shows where girls were
all the time. Yeah, I was
fucking Cadillacs.
Underground. I was living that Fast and Furious life.
God,
that would be great if in Fast and the Furious they like eventually revealed they're like, oh yeah, all of them are like 60. Like these guys are just midlife crisis.
Can I get a cameo in the next one? Like the camera just pulls back on the girl's ass right before she goes go. It's just me standing there, just staring at her ass, not even watching the car.
Just not paying attention to the race. And then you cut to Vin Diesel's fucking a car.
They need to have someone's midlife crisis be they're trying to find a kumite.
Oh God, that's what we need.
Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna next year on my birthday. I'm gonna start training in MMA, and I'm gonna go and see if I can get in the UFC.
Tim, you're too late for a midlife crisis.
You just got to start.
Thanks a lot, man.
Crisis.
Mike, that was mean.
Yeah, I'm just getting over the fact that I'm an orphan, and now you hit me with that shit.
It's okay, Mike. You could get into steroids. That could help.
Yeah, Tim, we can reveal what you should do later because I think you should get real buff. I think
at this point, right?
What's
going to take 20 years off my life?
Tim, I think you've already done enough to take 20 years off your life, buddy. I think.
I just want to do steroids so I can hold one of those gigantic bongs and take a rip.
Oh God,
Tim, did you? Okay,
just your upper arms are like ripped, but everything else is real flaccid.
You look like Quagmire.
That's how I flex, just holding it in.
So Tim, like at my age, I do wonder. I'm like, I wonder if I'll go through like some sort of midlife crisis and what my change would be. Right? Maybe it was like moving to a different state or something like that. But like, you are a little bit older than us. Do you feel like? Did you have a midlife crisis?
No, really, I didn't. I kind of worried about that because like, well, let's say like 45. Like, I think what it is, especially with men, it always hits you on like the 9 of your birthday. Right? Like 29, 39, 49,
I know.
50.
Coming up on a 9. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, really, I was kind of worried about that a little bit. And I was like, no, I don't notice anything different.
I think you have to actually have aspirations in life to have the midlife crisis.
Well, unfilled aspirations, motherfucker. How about that?
Yeah.
All right.
Tim already
married a beautiful woman. That's all I need.
I love that Tim just woke up one day. He's like, I got a wife. I got a beautiful wife. I live in Queens. And I still got my job. What more do I want?
I got lots of hair on my head, right?
And I get to
my balls aren't that low.
Yeah, and I get to talk to Candice for 2 to 3 hours every week. What more could you want?
And then hear all the hard takes and discord about it.
Yeah, God. Yeah. So, she, we see the news story and cut to, she just has a little date night with old Nipples. And they're
asked her out on a date because they did seem kind of sweet on each other.
Well, you do notice that the only thing that the father paid attention to that made him look up from his gruel was the story about the serial killer.
Yeah. Oh, and this is the stomach investigation scene, too, by the way, when she's, my tummy hurts. Just tummy, too. Don't say tummy. Grow up.
But like Candice was saying that she's a sociopath, right, Candice, is what you were describing.
She's a total sociopath.
When Nips is hitting on her in the shower, she has just like no reaction to her whatsoever.
Yeah, it's like she sees other people as like foreign things. She barely understands what they're doing the majority of the time. She just kind of goes along with it.
Yeah, and so it's like almost surprising that she ends up on this date because she is just really not interested in this girl at all. Like, just really has no connection whatsoever to Nips.
She just wants those tits.
She just seems bored all the time. And she was like, well, maybe something interesting will finally happen.
She doesn't want the tits.
No, she wants that titanium nipple piercing. Because I'm watching it right now. And she is licking the fuck out of these titties.
I think she pulled like the backdrop out of one of those fucking piercings too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, she grabs it with her teeth and just yanks up with her head.
I do like she's like, first time with a girl, you can move down, right? Like this bitch is at Olive Garden. She's loading up on breadsticks, man. Why don't you get down there?
Nips has only got herself to blame. The way that they got introduced and she goes out on the second date with her, she knows what she's into, right?
So they're hanging out, and that's not working out too well. So she's like, get the fuck off of me, you dummy. So she gets pissed, goes storming off, and throws up in the water.
This is when you like, she might be pregnant.
Well, this is when I started beating off again. Because,
he's like, man, they got all sorts of fetishes
of a water source. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm turned on by vulnerability in women.
Oh God.
I just love when women or anybody says, like, I don't know, if a person could be vulnerable around me, that's very attractive. So yeah, I like women that are very vulnerable. That's my favorite. So she goes, she starts grabbing at her stomach because that's getting bigger. And I'm like, never mind.
Yeah, she's got like a little pot belly now.
Yeah. This is the last time you whacked off to her, right?
Man. She got to calm it down with those Morting fettuccinis,
And then she reaches into her panties and pulls out some more oil. And immediately her thought is, well, time to go take a pregnancy test. I'm like, no, I think it's time to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Like you're dying.
Somehow she's just going along with this.
See what it is.
Taste it.
Because with the oil and everything, you immediately think the car is the father. Like it's not like his. Clearly, she's.
I'm just thinking of the ultimate Maury Povich fucking show. We got a Cadillac, we got a VW, and we got a van.
Yeah, we checked it, and that's 30 weight. That Cadillac uses 40 weight, so there's no Cadillac to the father.
The fire truck is the father. You have union benefits and medical and dental.
Oh wait, now I'm getting turned on again. We're at the next scene where she uses the chopstick to try to give herself an abortion.
Oh my God. Yeah, because she's clearly in pain, and she's like, well, it's time to fix this problem. So she takes the chopstick, and it's very graphically like she shoves it in her cooch.
And the best part,
it's a very long chopstick. Yeah. It's not like a dinner chopstick. This is like one you use to like stir a big pot. It's like a huge chopstick.
This is like Tim would order it from his novelty back of the magazine because it's like a chopstick you use to steal other people's food.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like from a reach over. Yeah.
So she's ramming it up her vagina to try to kill this fetus, and she's just biting down on this piece of toilet paper.
Yeah, that's how she's muffling her screams with toilet paper.
And she pulls it out.
In this stranger's house.
And this is like 30 minutes into the movie, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, what?
Yeah, imagine that. Imagine you go out, you pick up this chick, right? You're into her, you bring her back, and she does that in your bathroom.
Yeah, she tries to have a do-it-yourself abortion.
Yeah, you never know where
serious explaining you got to do to the cops.
Nah, I'd be like, just make sure you flush real well. There's a plunger over there. Also, just use the air freshener when you come out.
Yeah, please. But then she pulls the chopstick out and then like wipes it off like a dipstick.
It is.
It's pretty great. So then she pops back out and starts making out with nipples again. And nipples.
She just tried to give herself an abortion, and she immediately starts making out with someone.
Yeah, because she equates like human sexuality with her violence.
Time for her not to get pregnant again, right?
Yeah, it's the perfect time.
Yeah,
I remember.
Of course, it's also with a woman too, so I don't think she was going to get pregnant either way.
We don't know what's going on in the rest of this house, do we?
I love how Eddie's going with these like thematic elements and everything, and Tim's like, "Yeah, she's probably just horny again after."
She is horny. What the fuck are you talking about, man?
Well, that's the balance that we strike with bloody bits.
After you've had 4 on the floor, a chopstick ain't going to cut it.
Yeah, she was like, "Why put a chopstick up there? I could have her put something up there."
Oh, would it be funny if she shoved the chopstick up there and hear a tink and it comes out broken?
Oh God!
Oh, shit. All of a sudden, her clit's like a fucking car lighter. You got to press it in and wait 30 seconds.
The fucking check engine light comes on in her eye. Like, oh shit!
And somehow men still can't find it.
And somehow men still can't find it, Candice. That's a very good point that you've made. So, then this chick,
Mr. Candice listens to the show.
It says a lot more about Mr. Candice than anyone else there.
Yeah. So. He's just sitting in the car every day with an unlit cigarette, not figuring out where to do it. He's fucking turning the windshield wipers on, the glove box fucking door is popping open, the trunk is open. I can't find it.
I'm in the passenger seat, and I'm like, it's there, it's right fucking there. How can you not see it?
He's holding it up against the exhaust pipe, hoping the heat will light it up. You're like, no, that's the wrong end. Flip
You're
it
holding
over.
His hand there, and he still can't find it. No.
You should paint it a different color. That'll help him see it. So now then this chick lays her head down on her, like, oh, we're gonna chill after a hot make-out sesh. And maybe move it a little down south. No, she pulls out her fucking dirty, oily cooch chopstick.
Yes, she didn't like scrub it with soap and water. All she did was wipe it off like a dipstick.
Candice, I'm sure that girl is worried about the infection that she's going to get.
Yeah, that's a good point. So she stabs her in the cheek with it, and then Nipples pops back like, "Why the fuck did you do that?" And gives her another one in the ear. Then just some random dude comes down the stairs from the fucking gangbang or whatever.
And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what's happening?
Yeah.
No, hold on. We don't get the craziest cameo yet.
Oh, no. So she stabs him with the fucking chopstick, shoves his ass down.
And then she's so nonchalant the whole time. She's not freaking out.
Yeah, she didn't even do the chopstick on this guy. She takes the fucking fire poker and just drags it on the ground behind her while the guy's like, "What the hell is going on?"
Right, and she stabs him in the foot with it. Then beats him about the head with the stool. Shoves the leg of the stool in his mouth and like stomps
you see it's pushing out of his cheek.
Yeah. And then then she's like, somebody sees it upstairs and just leaves. And I'm like, yep, got exactly.
Some chick, because he says before he gets hit with the stool, some chick comes down the stairs with no fucking shirt on.
Right.
And he says, call the police, call 911. And she runs back up the stairs.
Yeah. So
then she gives him the stool exam, and then she goes upstairs, and then
I like
surprise,
that she's tired. So she sits on the stool for a second. Mm-hmm. She's like,
oh, look, her written down. Look, she's sitting on his face.
A bar stool ride. Never say yes if a woman asks if you'll do that.
Yeah. So she goes upstairs, tries knocking on the door for the woman. Nothing. Turns around. There's just the dude standing there naked.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't know what's going on, so he's like, hey, who'd you come with? And I'm like, is this like a fucking orgy house?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is lucky tonight.
This is like the fuck house, right?
Yeah, this is literally a house where just random people go in there to fuck each other, apparently.
Right.
And it's like a very fancy house.
Oh, it's nice.
It's like got like
eyes
really expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more like an internal combustion orange here.
But you can see Alexia's like frustration, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, she's like, how many people are here? The guy's like, well, there's this French person's name, that French person's name.
Yeah, she's like,
how many more fucking people are gonna pop out?
She's like,
yeah, I like it when she just looks at him. She goes, I'm just so tired. Like, I'm just...
Can I get a hug?
So she ends up killing his ass. Pretty boringly, actually, because she's got the little poker and she reaches around and hugs him.
Yeah.
This guy Jerome, by the way, and takes his ass out. And then all of a sudden the door flies open behind her and the woman goes to make a break for it, chases her down the stairs. Then they get into a great titty fight down the stairs.
Oh yeah, right. She's like,
topless.
I'm getting my squeezes in. Yeah.
Yeah. She's grabbing tits, squeezing them. She goes, starts choking her out on the fucking stairs, and I'm like, dude, I've only got so much cum in my body. What the fuck are we doing here?
And he's like, this is going to take me a long time to finish this movie because I got to come back every 15 minutes. Why did I wait
so long to watch this fucking movie?
I started watching it when Mike suggested it. I just finished for the third time on the rewatch. So
you got one of those wrist braces because your forearms all inflamed.
Oh, yeah. Again, I looked like Quagmire after he discovered internet porn on Family Guy.
If you take steroids, you can go a little bit longer.
That's a good point, Tim. So then she leaves. She comes home, and she's like stumbling home covered in blood, dripping oil out of her cooch. And her dad just looks out the window like, huh, what's up?
Oh, it's the most French thing ever when he just lights a cigarette and just stares at her while he's smoking it.
And you see that they have bars on their bedroom windows.
Yeah. So she goes into the garage and she's like, all right, I'm going to burn the evidence, right? So she throws her bloody clothes and all the shit into this waste bin and dumps a bunch of lighter fluid on it, tosses a match on it, lights the entire house on fire immediately.
Yeah, those flames jump up quick.
Yeah, I'm like...
Because she's like, burn the evidence? Yeah, fuck it, burn the house, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So then she heads upstairs to go check in on mom and dad because, she's burning the house down. Might as well. Looks in. Dad's laying in the bed awake. She's like, what the fuck? So she just takes, and I need this keying system, by the way, in my house.
Yeah, there's a lot of keys like this in this movie, Eddie.
Yeah, all
it must
weird.
Be a French thing.
It is. It's those older homes. Like that's how the keys were, and they usually just don't update them because they're like, yeah, this works fine.
They had it at the firehouse though too. You could lock it from the outside.
Again, it seems like it's a hazard specifically for when your house is burning down.
And the bars on the windows.
Yeah, that's too.
That's why they leave it, Eddie.
Yeah.
Okay. So, if you want to burn the house down with somebody inside, these can lock from the outside.
So it's like
and you're
feature.
Sold.
So you go to the open house and you're talking to the realtor. And he's like, listen, this has got what we call a mother-in-law suite. You can lock the old bitch in here and burn the place down.
Yeah, why do they have to lock their door? They're adults. Their daughter's an adult. It's not like she's a kid going to walk in.
Have you seen their daughter?
Yeah.
Their daughter's insane.
Yeah.
Their daughter kills people.
Well, then why didn't they fucking lock the bedroom door? Why do they just have the key on the inside of the fucking door?
So, yeah, she locks him in there and leaves. Then she thumbs a ride, goes out.
Now, here's a question. Did you think she tried to start the fire on purpose? Or it was just like, well, this happened, so fuck it. I'm out of here.
I think she was rolling with the punches.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think she meant to burn down the whole house, but when it started, it was like, yeah, fuck it. You know, might as well.
Clean slate.
So then she goes to this like bus stop because she's like, I'm going to get the fuck out of here. But it's like, well, I guess I'm a little too high profile because there's like wanted posters up for her, like the Old West. But it's on a video screen.
They don't look anything like her.
No, they don't. That's
right. So she's
not
going
at
a
all.
little extreme on this.
But instead, she sees like this computer aged this missing kid up to 17.
Yeah, yo, dude. See, what the fuck is that with French people? What a fucking depressing fucking thing to be waiting for your fucking bus. They have nothing but a whole fucking kiosk devoted to missing kids and murderers.
Tim,
because they showed like 6 missing kids before they showed her as a drawing, and then they showed this kid with the age progression.
I mean, compare that to the missing kids on the milk carton, Tim. What's more depressing?
You can turn the milk carton around.
Well, they do have the missing kids wall up at Walmart.
Oh, really? Yeah, all the Code Adams.
All the kids missing from Walmart?
Yeah.
Yeah. That seems like that's a good advertisement. Yeah.
It's the runaway train wall. Soul Asylum
runaway train wall. Oh, that'd be
all
funny.
All these kids went to a farm.
It plays runaway train, but it plays like only 8 seconds of it, like that hip clip thing back in the day.
Runaway train, runaway train, runaway train. It's just that over and over and over.
So that's why they got rid of all the Walmart greeters, because they were killing themselves. My favorite is I saw this picture somebody took of that missing kids wall at Walmart. That they pasted up a note that said "Hide and Seek Hall of Fame."
Oh, wow.
Which pretty funny.
The game is over. Come home.
Yeah. So she decides, well, wait a minute. What if I disguise myself as this 17-year-old kid, go find the father?
This is insane.
This is really. Is this either the most brilliant plan ever or the craziest fucking plan ever? Right?
The most Tim Yobo plan I've ever seen in a movie. Like,
exactly.
Everything about this movie, Tim, which is another reason why I love it, is like she operates on Yobo logic. Like,
yes.
We have no idea what she's thinking or like anything about this woman, but her decision making is like Yobo on a podcast.
Okay, I've killed people. They're looking for me. But what if I wasn't me?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that works.
Looking for a 55-year-old white girl.
Right.
What if I pretend to be a missing 17-year-old girl?
But
boy.
Instead yeah.
She's a 32-year-old white woman who's just going to be a 17-year-old missing boy now.
Yeah. Right.
It's got orphan vibes, by the way.
You know
right?
how crazy this sounds? It actually fucking happened in real life.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, no, it has. Yeah, it has.
Yeah. It was that one guy, right?
That's a great fucking scam.
It was a French guy, too.
Yeah, it was a French guy.
It was a French con artist.
Yeah. He pretended to be this family's missing kid, Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
This American family's missing kid.
Yeah.
And so he went and lived with that family. Yeah.
It reminds me of this fantastic Whitest Kids You Know sketch where this dude went missing during the Vietnam War. And they're all like, hey, we found him and he's back. And it's just this Vietnamese actor. And he's like, I'm Billy. And they're like, yeah, I don't think that's Billy.
yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
So fucking funny, dude. He went through a lot of changes. They're like, yeah, well, war changes a man. So she goes into the bathroom.
Yeah. And this is, by the way, like 40 minutes into the movie. And you're like, what the fuck is going to happen?
Like what the end of the first act. I'm like, what the fuck? So she goes into the bathroom. She's like, okay, I've got to make myself look like what that kid might look like. Like instead
of broken nose.
Instead of like, I have to just look like not me. She's like, I have to look like him. What a gambit to run. So she goes into the bathroom, just randomly chops her hair off in a weird way, and then just starts punching the fuck out of her nose. And I'm like, why
you see her like look at the profile and look at the picture of the kid, and then she's like, "Fuck!"
Oh yeah,
she realized her nose is just way too different.
So finally, she settles on, well, what if I like Brock Lesnar headbutt the corner of this fucking sink to break my nose?
The sound.
It's like
yeah. Hats off to the Foley artist on this one.
Plus, this, like you said, this is like after she's already punched herself in the nose 4 or 5 fucking times.
Yeah.
She's
I couldn't watch
guts
it.
to do the goddamn thing. Yeah,
I could not watch it when she.
They made your balls itch?
Into the thing. Yeah, it was no, this to me is too much.
Pretty rough. So now we cut to
not the chopstick scene. Okay.
Apparently she.
No, I like that.
I guess she called.
Made me hungry for Chinese food.
I got a dipstick fetish too.
You'll just want an abortion again in 18 minutes.
Oh God!
Joke of the hour right there.
So she called the police so she could meet up with this guy.
Yeah,
and she's on the lam.
Yeah, well, it's a good plan. It's a Yobo plan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because
they're not going to expect you to walk into the fucking place, right?
No one would ever suspect that you walk in and claim to be a missing 17-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Nope.
Plus, all their attention's on trying to find this fucking serial killer.
They're looking for a woman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a boy now.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. They're looking for a woman. Sorry, I'm a boy. They're looking at not jail. Haha, I'm at the jail.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
this is just
perfect.
like
it worked.
Yobo pretending to be like a missing kid comes in with like a big lollipop and a spinny hat. And he's like, "Where's my mommy?"
He looks like the baby from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I do remember in The Fugitive when he's given the speech about checking all the outhouses and all that stuff. He never says also check the police station. So that's a good point.
Yeah.
So he picks her up, and the guy's like, okay, we can do a DNA test. And the dude's like, hey, you saying I won't know my own son? And he looks in at, Quasimodo here. And
because she shaved her eyebrows. Gave herself that crazy fucking haircut.
She is, for the rest of this movie, I just kept getting Pink Floyd The Wall vibes.
Oh, man.
Yeah, why did she shave the eyebrows? That was,
I guess, to make herself even more unrecognizable.
Yeah, you don't want to look at that freak face.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah, her whole thing is, and plus she's like
broken nose and no fucking eyebrows.
And on top of that, she's taped down her breasts and her stomach because the baby's grown even bigger.
Yeah,
and she's like wrapped herself up to give her a more androgynous figure.
Yeah, and then several times
the baby's gonna come out of the back.
Dude, wouldn't that be funny if she just taped the stomach down and then the bump went on the back instead?
She's just chasing it the whole time.
Yeah. She lays down on her back and then it shoots down to one of her feet.
1 foot, then it goes up the other leg.
This looks like Popeye's muscles when he first eats the spinach. Just shooting all over her body. So she tries to make an escape. The car door's locked. They finally pull up to the fire station because this dude's the chief, by the way. And then she jumps out of the car real quick and tries to run off. He chases her ass down and is like, look, you're already home. Like, let's just not do this whole running shit. And the whole time she's not talking because clearly, her voice would maybe give up the game. You know?
I think that's what it is. And also, I think what's really good, because on the first watching, when I was like, what does it mean I don't need a DNA test? That's kind of stupid. And then the second watching, I'm like, of course he doesn't want a DNA test. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
He wants the illusion.
He knows right away that this isn't his son, too.
Yeah, that kind of... He's kind of just doing
Well,
this.
that's what I mean. That's when he finds out right there, where he's like... Because he says, before he even sees this person, I don't need a DNA test to know if that's my son or not. So before he even sees this, whether or not that's really, oh shit, that really is my son. But I'm wondering, did he kill the kid?
No, listen to this, because this is an interesting perspective, because this is another thing that
Hold on, Candice, I'm sorry. Before I forget this train of thought on why maybe he killed the kid. Because he's fighting a fire in a simulation thing, and he has a fucking flashback of seeing a fucking burnt baby in a fucking cabinet. Yeah. And it's not there.
Actually, Tim, you're right. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, from the first and second viewing, thought that he gradually accepted the truth over time. I didn't think he knew from the beginning. I thought he was just so dead set on being right. And how could someone question his being how good of a father he was by not being able to recognize his own son? And then over the course of the movie, as the relationship grows, he decides he can face it and doesn't care.
Yeah, my read on it.
Right off the bat, he's buying into this. He's answering that fucking Nigerian prince letter.
Yeah.
But I feel like both arguments are valid.
I actually think that's an interesting argument, Candice. And I think the best part about this movie and why she's such a good filmmaker is that we just don't know.
That's right.
Like, exactly.
Right.
Look at that. It's an ambiguous movie that I like.
It's so good because, like, again, this time watching it, I thought like more maybe what you were thinking the first time, Candice. I was like, okay, he's got to know that's not his son, but maybe he doesn't because he's just so clouded by it and like eventually accepts it. And this time, I don't know, I got that vibe. I was like, maybe he knew the whole time that
he
this
knew
is
the
not
whole
his
time.
son. Yeah,
there's no fucking way that you're not going to say, okay, yeah, pluck a fucking hair out of my head and make sure 100% this is my fucking kid.
Or Tim, maybe his wife was fooling around on him back in the day.
Maybe he doesn't want to.
Doesn't want to know.
Also, though, that's why she can't admit he killed the kid because she's not even supposed to have it.
Well, we never find out how his son went missing, but we do
never
hear
find out the circumstances.
Later, you're always trying to run away, which was interesting.
Yeah,
it was like, oh, maybe.
And let's just say this. I don't have too many memories of my dad, but we weren't dancing and kind of making out too much either.
Yeah. Yeah, the father-son relationship idea that he has is a little unusual.
Well, they're
friends are weird.
Non-traditional.
I don't know. I would always...
Come on.
Yeah, my dad and I would always like dance around and
dance with zombies.
Yeah, after dinner.
Yeah, and then shoot each other up with steroids.
And the damn
boy time.
And when he catches her, by the way, when she runs away, and he says, "Oh, don't worry. If anybody tries to hurt you, I'll kill them, even me."
Yeah, that's right.
Like,
that's right. I'd even kill myself. That's right. So, what did he do to that kid?
Yeah. So he takes her home.
Okay, but I was gonna say, like, can we just touch on this? The fact that, like, we find out later, but he has been living in this firehouse, like next to the room that has been kept the same from when his son was missing.
So wait, hold on a second. Were they living? Wait, hold on. Were they living? I thought those two separate places.
No,
they were living in the fucking firehouse with the wife and the son.
Yep.
Well, he has like the captain's quarters or whatever, which is like this is a training. I don't think it's
like
a full
warden on a prison, right?
It's like a training ground for firemen because I don't think they're actually firemen.
They do a fire.
Well, they do one thing.
They respond to two different things.
Yeah, well, they don't set the firehouse on fire. That's not why it's called that. That's just where they like live and work.
That's where fire comes from. Like, all the fire in the world starts at the firehouses.
Right.
And...
Yeah, that's how it works. But like, so he's been living with this guilt of whatever it was with his son leaving or whatever he did, and living right next to it for how many years at this point?
It's like 10 years.
Yeah.
Was what they said. The kid's been missing.
That's why I was surprised it was still on the news if it was 10 years ago.
That's why I thought his denial was so hard.
Right? Yeah.
You gotta tell me all those fires you haven't found one kid whose parents haven't died and you can't just take him in?
Yeah. I mean, and let's be honest, like this kid's no Natalie Holloway, It's like
yeah. Not exactly lighting the world on fire.
Wow.
Maybe if Natalie Holloway got a tan.
This kid's not even a fucking. This kid ain't even a John Bonet.
Mr. Milk Carton guy, we got 2 kids. Which one should we put on the carton this month?
Yeah.
Well, that was no Natalie Holloway. That's going to sell milk.
I don't know. This kid just doesn't have that missing carton appeal, if you know what I mean. Maybe we'll put that one up at Walmart.
What was great about it is that all the milk carton companies had to do it at the same time because they'd be like, no company's like, no, I'm not fucking putting no missing kid on my milk carton.
Yeah. They're like, hey, I don't know.
Yobo Milk over there don't have the kid fucking picture.
Yeah, look, this man. Yobo kid, he isn't selling cartons, okay? Right. But this, white girl who went on vacation to Aruba for college, you're flying off the shelf.
Now that sells milk.
Yeah, I'm sure a 55-year-old white guy going missing is going to really make the news.
They'll just assume that you just wandered off.
They'll just assume that you're ready to do something,
I thought it was wild that it was eventually revealed that Vandersloot was actually just part of Big Milk.
Yeah.
Like, that was his whole thing. He was just...
he killed Natalie Holloway.
Yeah. He was just a serial killer of pretty women so they would be on milk cartons. That was his whole thing. Yeah.
That's why they called him the Milkman.
Look, they gotta get milk into you somehow, okay? Because people aren't buying it as much anymore. Nobody's drinking it anymore.
Oat milk and wood milk and
yeah.
We had a moment with the weird cum face marketing of the Got Milk ads, but we're long past that.
And they're like, "You seen the type of girls they're putting on oat milk nowadays? We gotta get it going over here, guys."
Yeah. They tried just putting multiple kids on the carton. They're like, we got 3 on the carton. It's just not selling. Fuck. Oh, God. Now I'm just seeing this dude's asshole because he just shot up heroin or what. Or no, steroids. Oh. Anyhow.
This is what Yobo's going to get into a little bit later.
Wait, does shooting steroids hurt?
I have no idea.
What the fuck's going on?
I don't know.
Well, it looks like he's shooting it into bruises over and over again. I bet that part fucking hurts.
Yeah.
Well, how about doing the other cheek, asshole?
Yeah, turn the other cheek.
Because he's a righty.
Oh, yeah. I remember reading a story
about... If my right hand was broken, Candice, when I was 15 years old, I'd figure a way.
I remember reading a story about Hulk Hogan had done so many steroids that the skin had toughened on his ass so much he couldn't inject it right. So he'd just get the needle started, and then back into a wall and use the pressure of the wall. And then I guess they were another wrestler, Ultimate Warrior.
Just get Andre the Giant to body slam it.
Yeah. I guess Ultimate Warrior would have people help him with the injections. And at the peak of his craziness, somebody injected him with it, and it started bubbling out. And they're all like, yeah, dude, I think you're full up.
You're full up.
It's like, somebody's putting a little stopper underneath there so they don't let it go to waste, right?
Oh, yeah. Jesse
so
the
I didn't
Body
know our
Ventura
human
was
bodies were like a gas tank. Like, you could fill them and they might spurt a little out. Yeah. Amazing.
You ever heard of blue balls?
So she gets into the kids' room and whips her tits out real quick because you got to rub them. They're hurting from being taped down.
And it's been a while, so
she
Eddie
starts itching like crazy.
Yeah, Eddie needed a little stimulation.
I was starting to lose interest in the movie.
He likes those scratchy titties.
Yeah, so, and then she's all clawed up and
bit by mosquitoes.
Fucked up looking. And so he goes in there and he's like, all right, time for you to get naked, son. Let's take your pants off.
See, all right, here's another problem. Now that you mentioned that fucking thing, here it is. Now this putting a whole new layer on it. Because at one point he says, either you're going to get undressed, or I'm going to undress you. I'm like, yo. Right?
Yeah.
That's your
and he says,
and
he also says, I'm not going to hurt you.
Yeah.
He says, are you scared of me?
Again.
Holy shit, this dude was diddling his kid.
Yes.
And that's why the kid ran away. Candice,
he's dancing. The way, as soon as he does that fucking, let me tell you how the way she walked fucking dance, I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, man.
Right?
I never thought of this before, but it makes perfect sense.
When they were dancing to Staying Alive.
This movie is
this
so
is Macarena.
Fucking weird, man.
I know, I was kidding, Kim.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, she kicks him, like, get the fuck away, and he's like, all right, turns around, she strips, gets back into bed, and he's like, all right, cool, well, now that I'm all nice and cooled off from not fucking the surrogate for my missing 17-year-old boy, I guess I'll go shoot up a bunch of steroids, try to do some chin-ups, get pissed, and then flop on the ground and throw a fit like a baby.
Yeah,
so
like he's angry at his body.
Then he launders her clothing, and he finds the chopstick thing. He's like, that's a little weird. Puts the clothes back in the room for her, She wakes up the next morning. starts getting dressed and everything, and she's like, fuck, now I remember I got to put the bandages on again.
Got to tape my tits down.
Yeah, tapes off, then goes into the bathroom with him where he like fixes her nose up. Because he's also like, as a fire chief, kind of got some paramedic training going on.
Yeah, at this point, she looks like the fucking Penguin from Batman 2, right?
Well, she looks like a gargoyle.
Little known, Penguin from Batman 2 is actually just a 17-year-old kid.
She looks like
Runaway.
He wasn't a runaway. He was a throwaway.
Yeah, he's a throwaway.
She looks like
little penguins.
She looks like what's his name from Fight Club after Norton beat the piss out of him.
Oh, Jared Leto.
Jared Leto, yeah.
My favorite part of Fight Club. Every year it gets more and more my favorite part.
Yeah.
Well, speaking to his paramedic skills, I know that in Europe, the firemen don't just put out fires; they also do paramedic stuff.
Oh yeah, no,
too.
dude. Yeah, I don't know where you fucking live, but here in New York, firemen can do all that shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the firemen are the ones they send out for heart attacks.
Oh, we only have volunteer firemen. I would not fucking trust them to treat a hangman.
Oh,
well, I mean,
no. Wait, hold on. That's still a thing? You only have a volunteer fire department?
Yeah, when there's no houses, what the fuck do you need a fire department for?
Tim, in a lot of smaller areas. Smaller areas, they can afford to pay for it.
You want me showing up as a fucking weekend fireman?
Well, Tim, think about it. Where Candice lives, like, you think one of those little places, the little mud huts in the Shire, is really going to burn down? All they got to do is go fucking dig a new one and then go have second breakfast.
Oh, you know what? House out of Legos.
You know what really sucks though is that the tornado siren is also the fire siren. You have to listen to how long it is to figure out if it's a tornado, if it's a fucking if it's a fire.
How long it is? Don't they know you guys can't count down there?
Your span of attention is like, what, 3
just
seconds?
Like, sitting there reading a book and all of a sudden, and then you're like, okay, it's just a fire. I can relax.
They count it by like counting grasshopper hops or something. They're like, all right, get the cricket out, and it hops 3 times.
The groundhog comes out and it gets blown away into a tornado.
2 hoppy, 3 hoppy.
Oh, okay, it's just a fire. It's all right.
Shit, I thought it was a tornado, but it was just them guys playing Stompy Candy down by the old barn. So he gets her all dolled up and then starts shaving it at the titanium plate scar, and then he just like starts fingering it.
Well, no, it's great because when the fucking electric razor hits the fucking steel plate in her head, I guess it's vibrating and she can't take it.
She's like,
that would fucking hurt.
Like, yeah. So then we cut to back at the fire station. He's like, "Hey, everybody, my kid's back," and they're like, "Oh fuck, not this again."
Well, we should say there's this really weird fireman who's like obsessed with the captain.
Who is ever obsessed with their boss?
Why? Because maybe this was the chief's number 1 boy.
Yeah, this
comes back,
was the previous surrogate.
Yeah. Because he's trying to get this like father-son relationship with the captain, which is really weird.
Hey, by the way, looking at this captain, he's kind of got Raymond's brother vibes from Everyone Loves Raymond.
Oh, in the face.
Yeah.
I can see that.
He also looks like Christopher Maloney.
Yeah, a little. I could see that too. So he introduces, he's like, "Hey, I'm God, and like this is my kid, so that's Jesus."
Yeah, what a way to introduce your kid, huh?
And then they're all like, "What? Okay."
But that actually plays into at the end of the movie, because when we get to the end of the movie, I'll talk about it. But there's this Catholic mystical theme that runs through it as well.
Oh, okay. And then one of them gay bashes, and is like, "Oh, whatever." The captain, I remember Jesus being some white gay dude.
Yeah, because everybody else can see this boy seems very effeminate.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, like they all know right away.
100%. No, not yet. Because I think at this point, she's just supposed to be androgynous, where you really can't see because she's not talking. The clothes that she's wearing, you can't really see one way or the other.
Right.
But the certain way that she'll like move her hands and hips and stuff, it's like you can tell it's a woman.
Oh,
Candice can tell. So
now, plus, like I felt like all of these guys could tell right away.
Oh yeah,
and especially the brown noser, who's just like
How many times has the captain just like went and picked up a stray and brought it home? Like, hey, it's my son. He's back again.
You think all those firemen were all his all his projects?
Tim,
he just brought home strays and he's been raising them this whole time.
Maybe they
because all of a sudden his fucking son's fucking like fire chief deputy or something, right?
Yeah, maybe
Jesus is the firehouse.
That's a good point, Tim. maybe they're a volunteer fire department too, but it's just like his adoption agency, right?
I think they're all like he's trying to get all the apostles. Tim, and he finally found Jesus. He's making his own Bible. Yeah.
And they're going to have Last Supper of probably breakfast because they eat fettuccine for fucking breakfast. So Last Supper is going to be like pancakes and eggs.
Fire, the water keeps splitting. This is the fire.
Yeah, this is when he does the weird simulation fire, which I don't know if that's a thing. Where they use live fire during the simulation.
Yeah, they do. They have it. Yeah,
with live fire.
Yeah. They have it, yeah.
What the fuck?
Well, it's coming out of like grates and stuff.
I don't think it's as serious as that is, but they have it with fire. Because, dude, it's like the same thing when you go to fucking military training. Sooner or later, they start shooting live rounds around you so you know what the fuck is going on. You don't freak out the first
time. They don't shoot them at you, Tim.
Like... No, but they shoot them around you. They weren't shooting the fucking flames at them. Like I said, this is a movie, so they ramped it up a little bit. But their firehouses here in New York, I guess you probably don't call them that, but where they have the fake fires and they go in, they have to deal with the smoke and the heat.
They should just use VR or something.
Tim, how do you know about this? Did you accidentally walk into one of those once?
In my arson days, I pretended to set one on fire. And I was like, what?
Oh, Tim, that's the perfect crime. You burn it down the firehouse during one of their simulations.
You know what? If an arsonist was smart, bleep this out, Eddie, because I might get in trouble for this. Set a couple of false alarms off when the fire trucks go out. Set the firehouse on fire.
Well, most arsonists are firemen.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, I've looked this up because I want to know.
It's like how most people call people groomers are actually the real groomers. Yeah.
I want to know if a fire station has ever burned down.
Well,
there has to have been.
Right? Well, that was that King of the Hill episode, right? Because it was Boomhauer's neon light that said beer caught the place on fire. So we cut back to them, and they're having some dinner, and they're just eating some more fucking spaghetti or breakfast.
Some more pasta.
Yeah, all they eat is fucking pasta in this country, you know?
Yeah. I thought they were carbohydrates to get those muscles going.
Right. So
I thought they'd be eating baguettes, though. Like it's France.
They just munch on baguettes at the dinner table. They each have one gigantic baguette.
Yeah, they're just Lady and the Tramp, a bunch of baguettes.
I thought that's why they sold them on the streets. That's what people in France ate for dinner. Like they just went home and all munched on their own baguettes.
Yeah,
that was it.
Wait till they discover other food. It'll be interesting.
I mean, they must have got like big into a pasta craze in 2020 or something like that. They finally found a new food.
Wait until they slice the baguettes.
Ooh.
Yep.
Oh,
like a little bruschetta.
It'll be the greatest thing.
It's like slicing a baguette in France is like breaking spaghetti in Italy. You just don't do it.
Oh.
You can do it. That's why we live in America.
So now they're back home eating their spaghetti, and she's just like scratching at her chest a little bit. Looks down. She's lactating yellow.
Yeah, it's like neon yellow. It's not a natural color.
He sees this. He's like, what? And she covers up. Yeah, that's a tip off.
Right. And he's like, no, let me see your chest. And she's like, no, fuck you, knock it off, right? And he's like, right. Yeah. And she kind of storms off. Then this crazy man, this psychopath, puts on some fucking music.
Also, by the way, he's locked all the doors so she can't get out. And
that's right. Yeah, there's at least 3 times where she tries to get out, but he's locked the doors.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great fucking song too.
And it's the She's Not There.
So she's not there.
Which is like a sign that he knows.
Yeah, she's not there.
Listen to the whole lyrics. It's like exactly what's going on, and he knows the whole time, and he's doing this really creepy, like fucking Buffalo Bill dance.
And meanwhile, her head is like
he's doing a sexy dance. Okay, you don't do that in front of your kids,
right?
Especially after they come home after being fucking missing for 50 goddamn years.
Sexy Buffalo Bill dance. Yeah. And meanwhile, her head is half shaved, so like her transition into this life is only like half complete, right? So they're dancing, having a good time. All of a sudden, this dude just starts like shoulder checking her.
Yeah, he starts getting violent.
No. He's not. He's going right. He's chest bumping her.
Yeah, and right? She's bumping back, right? And then it becomes a little less fun. And all of a sudden, he starts slap boxing her.
Yeah, they get aggressive.
He's like, come on, bitch. Come on, what do you got? What do you got? Slapping her. He's ducking and weaving. He does the Muhammad Ali, the quick shuffle step, and then smacks her in the face. It's crazy.
And she is pissed.
Oh, she gets pissed off. She tosses his ass on the ground and just starts grounding, pounding the shit out of him. He's like trying to just cover up and defend himself. Finally, she whips out her hair pick thing, goes to stab him, and he's like, hey, what's that for? You going to knit me a sweater?
Yeah, he starts making fun of him.
And he's like, come on, why don't we fight like a man? If you're going to fight me like a man would fight me. So maybe he was aware. Or maybe he's just, misogynistic.
Weird fucking guy.
And this is where you're just still watching. It's like, I have no idea where this movie is going to fucking go.
Right.
Like, this is just keeps getting weirder.
If this is Pornhub video, I know where this is going, but I don't know where this movie is going.
Yeah, because the whole time there's this weird quasi-sexual tension between them.
He put on She's Not There and started sexy dancing.
I mean, Candice, I think you're reading into that. That might be a little projection.
Okay, but you don't know why or where it's going to go with that energy.
Right.
I don't need to know why.
And we should say, like, the reason he does steroids is because, like, he feels like he's losing his youth, right? And he's not as strong anymore. And he's, like, obsessed with his looks.
Yep.
Like,
because he keeps posing in the mirror. I mean, and he's in damn good shape. Like, don't get me wrong.
But you can also tell that he's an older man. Yeah. Like, he's real weathered looking.
I'll take that fucking body.
Yeah, no shit. So he gives
her some steroids, Tim.
He's like,
you could do it.
Yeah.
I should probably start smoking cigarettes too.
Yep.
That should be like a new transformation. Like, instead of like a weight loss thing or something like that, Tim should just do this like online transformation. He's like, I just took steroids. They're actually great, everybody.
Instead of letting like a bunch of old people be a drain on society.
Oh, God.
Just start like 55, 60 years. Just give everybody like all the drugs and all the steroids.
Start jacking them
up. Like 10 good years and that's it. Done.
We need buff old people.
Make them fight for our amusement. Yeah.
That way they can work longer.
No, I'm enjoying this idea of Tim's like second act of his life here being steroid use, heavy drug use, and then just like picking up transients and pretending they're his kid, and also trying to fuck them.
I ain't got no time for kids. Fuck that shit. I'm living my life now. I'm living my best life.
Right. So they get into the big fight, and then finally he overpowers her.
And none of the bitches can get pregnant.
He's overpowered. Jesus. Yeah. So
the new AARP poster child.
It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger from the neck down. Tim said,
I'm buff and no bitches can get pregnant. Wow, Tim.
So what if I get syphilis? I already have Alzheimer's.
Shirtless, jacked Tim Yobo that just says like "Daddy likes it raw" on the cover of an AARP magazine.
Granddaddy likes it.
Granddaddy likes it raw.
I think you should do it, Tim. Like, what's stopping you from getting buff? Like, all you need to do is just order up some of those steroids and get it going, dude.
Get the P90X.
Get a little weight set. Get yourself some steroids.
I think, Candice, if you do the steroids right, I don't think you even have to do a fucking P90X. I think you just gotta, like, go out one day, like, walk to the store, and then you come back, you're all buff.
Just open a few doors, Tim.
Yeah.
Like, one.
I gotta remember to use both arms.
Yeah.
Tim's just doing laps out
the Sometimes with your legs, you don't want to skip leg day.
It's just out
what would happen if you took steroids and like just worked out one arm?
You know what, Tim? These are some of the fun little experiments that you can conduct.
You look like that dude from Lady in the Water. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Nobody saw that movie, Candice.
Nah, nobody saw that.
Don't use that as a reference.
But it was like dude with like one normal arm and his right arm was really buff and he's constantly pumping iron with it.
Jesus. So he tosses the keys to her. He's like, listen, you're free to go. Like, you're not a captive here. You can go anytime you want. So she's like, cool. Fucking leaves. He gets all bummed out, right?
He gets all butthurt.
Yeah, he gets all buttered, and he's like, fine, I'm gonna go mix some red wine and some pills.
I'm gonna go overdose in a dramatic way.
And yeah.
Wait, did he take pills?
Yeah, he popped a pill with his red wine, which is the preferred way to take pills.
And he still took the steroids?
Yeah. Yeah, double dose.
You got a pump, dude.
No, hold on. All right, now I'm confused, because why, if he's planning on killing himself, why does he take pills, wash it down with wine? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right, he does. But I thought that was a steroid.
He wants to leave a
No. You're wrong. He wasn't trying to kill himself at that point. That was another steroid that he was taking, because why would he wash down, painkillers, whatever kind of fucking medicine you're going to use to kill yourself, wash it down with a glass of wine, which is a small glass by French standards, right? Because it's a bunch of fucking lushes over there.
Yeah, because he keeps pouring wine into the glass constantly. But then he takes one sip and then pours another. Yeah.
He takes a steroid shot. He throws away the needle. He takes it out. He fills it up with air and then shoots that into his ass. And he
doesn't fill it up with air. He goes back to the little vial, Tim. He uses more steroids.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, he was throwing it away because he was like, I'm done with this. Yeah. And then he threw it away. And then he pushed it, and then he got it out of the trash because he threw it away.
Oh, man, that's nasty.
He threw it away. He looked in the mirror, and then he's like, no, I'm still not a swole granddad. Yeah. So he's like, I'm going to go do the most sanitary, smart thing. I'm going to dig the needle out of the garbage and reuse
it's not even in a sharps container. Ugh.
It's not even sharp anymore. He already fucking used it on his ass.
Yeah, I thought he put the cap back on it, and then he pulled air into it, and that's what he was shooting to his ass.
No, Tim. I'm watching it right now. He's got the little ampful thing down there.
Can you put both hands up in the air right now, please? Hand check.
He did take a bunch of pills, though, Tim.
Right.
And we don't know what the pills were.
I think they were vitamins.
So then, no. Oh, come on.
Oh, he took his Flintstone vitamins. Is that kind of
crazy that you're going to take a bunch of pills to kill yourself? Yeah. Wash it down with wine and then still take your fucking steroid shot?
Tim, in your mind, he was injecting air into himself.
Tim, you gotta live the old man buff lifestyle, dude. Like this is you gotta take notes, man.
Yeah, this is how you do it.
What happens when I'm 62 and I peaked and my buffness starts going away?
Like Yobo, you need to take a woman's one a day.
Oh, like women's one a day.
Women's one a day with a glass of wine, and you need to inject yourself with steroids. The women's one away will balance out those steroids, so you don't get too full of testosterone, right? You get some estrogen or whatever.
Yeah, so your balls don't shrink.
Yeah. And you gotta get this going, dude.
I got tits now. Okay, great.
Yeah, and don't inject air into your ass. It's not how it works, dude.
Because that's not enough to kill yourself. You need a lot more air into your system to kill yourself.
Maybe that's how you get a little bit of definition in your muscles. You got to put a little air in there every once in a while, right? Like a balloon.
The Brazilian butt lift.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how bodybuilders will dehydrate themselves before a show? This guy's just dehydrating himself internally. He's just injecting air into the muscles.
Real definition that way.
Yeah. One step ahead.
So she leaves, right? He fucking seizes out in the bathroom floor. And she leaves. She hops on a bus. She's like, cool, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
I love this part.
Goes to the back of the bus, right?
Eddie is a high schooler. Here it is, everybody.
Yeah.
And then I just have Tim, Spoolie, Westboro, and Stinko.
This is definitely fucking Yobo and his friends back in the day.
The crew.
Right?
Pop to the back.
Maybe if we talk about it loud enough, they'll want to do it with us.
And Yobo in the back of a fucking subway car talking about I don't care what hole. Front, back, whatever.
Well, first I thought she'd dig them because they start fucking the seats of the bus. And I'm like,
let me show you how I would do it to you, honey. That's what it is.
So I thought it was but God.
She fucks
I'd fuck
cars.
you like the back of a bus seat.
Yeah, but she's fucking cars, so she can't judge them.
No.
And they're all like, oh, yeah, hey, how about that bitch up ahead of us, man? I'd like to stick it up her asshole and then flip her over. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, hey, slut, why don't you fuck us? Because, there's another lady in the bus next to her.
And of course, they think Titane is not Titane. Alexia is a boy.
Titane. Yeah.
Because she looks over the other lady. She looks over like help a little bit, and she's just like.
Again, though, she looks like Elephant Man. Even if she was a woman, I wouldn't be like sexually harassing her.
But I think this is when she realizes maybe being a woman is overrated. Maybe I'll just be a boy from now on.
Yeah, why not? So she gets off the bus.
I thought she also knew, like, it was, if I stay on this bus, I'm going to murder every single person.
I'm wondering if she didn't.
Yeah, no, that's true. We don't ever see. We just see her get off the bus. We don't see if they're alive or not.
Do we even see the bus pull away? Oh, yeah, we do see the bus.
We see the bus
does pull away. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That could have been a fun scene if she fucked that guy in the ass with the chopstick, though, to kill him.
You should have fucked the bus after a while. She's a size queen, right?
I was going to say maybe she killed the 4 guys, killed the woman, killed the bus driver, then bribed the bus. Said, "Listen, drive away now.
I'll blow you if you get away from the scene of the crime."
Yeah.
She's just blowing on the exhaust pipe.
You didn't see nothing.
Yeah.
Oh my! That needs to be like a DC superhero, someone who or a villain is someone who can talk to cars.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute.
You're like Aquaman, but only with cars.
They never show when she gets into it. Maybe it was a short bus, and then she started licking it, and then it was a full size.
Oh.
Well, they're one of those extended buses,
travel buses. Yeah. So and she goes
to that fucking rock and roll tour bus.
So she goes back to the joint and just shaves her head entirely.
Yep.
She's like, all right,
in for a penny, in for a pound now,
yeah,
right?
Fully committed to the bit now. So then after she shaves, after she shaves her head, she's like, okay, let's see if this guy's dead or alive. And she kind of starts slapping him in the face a little bit. She's like,
she was going to kill him.
Yeah.
For a minute, because she took out the chopsticks and sat by him before she shaved her head.
She could have been making fried rice. You don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
You just hear sizzling.
Yeah.
And she tries to kill this guy, but for some reason can't do it.
It's pathetic.
And she calls him Dad.
Yeah. So how'd that feel, Candice?
I don't know what you're implying there.
Watching this scene. So, then she leaves, and she's like, all right, I'm going to have a little wardrobe montage here. Heads out to his bedroom, finds some pictures. She's looking at him. She's like, oh, okay, well, here's his wife. Oh, I guess she was pregnant once. That's why they had a kid. So, hey, there's the maternity dress. She pops out, puts on the maternity dress. All of a sudden, she hears dude awake, right? She's like, oh, fuck. Goes and hides in the closet. And then dude pops in, sees her like that. He's like, that's funny. Hey, why don't you come on out?
And he says, and they try to say, you're not my son.
Yeah. And then he opens up the photo album.
Yeah.
And it turns out he's been dressing his son in that dress for years.
And this whole time I was interpreting his actions as he thinks his son is gay. And he's like a super masculine, manly man. And so he's trying to accept this part of his son.
You could see that, yeah.
I mean, it could be a thing where the son might have been gay and maybe he was trying to butch the son up and that's why the kid ran away. I mean, it could be interpreted that way.
Yep.
Who knows? But, then she's just sitting there looking at this photo album with this kid in this dress, like crazy-eyed, like, what the fuck? And then he's like, no, it's cool. And he just starts kissing on her. And the whole time she's holding this pillow.
The neck.
And she's like holding this pillow up to her chest. So he can't tell she's a pregnant woman, a very pregnant 30-year-old woman.
Who's lactating oil.
Oil.
What is it? When he does the cleanup, when he cleans up his son's room, and he sees all this fucking black ink, does he think his son is jerking off with a fucking octopus or something?
They're called fetishists. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, he's into hentai and he's gay.
That fire truck, that firehouse has a lot of oil sitting around, Tim. When you're in need of lubricant, what better? Just slap some of that on your dick. It's fine.
Oh, and at this point, has it showed like she's really itchy around her stomach and she just digs?
Yes.
Yeah. So
fucking sound when she's scratching it too.
Is this when it also rips a little bit?
Yeah.
It's already starting to rip. Yeah.
And we see the chrome womb.
Yep.
And
she's like, at this point, go to a doctor, right?
At this point, just dive off a building head first.
It's like at this point, the movie has turned from this psycho car-loving serial killer into a family drama.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But then it reminds you, oh, wait, it's also a family drama involving a psycho killer and this dude who may or may not have been diddling his son.
Right.
I like that Tim's thing too is like, it's a body horror movie, go to a doctor, you know? Like they'll know what to do about a chrome pregnant stomach. Like they've seen everything, you know? Just go over there and explain it.
Walk into the ocean.
Put that in ER stories.
Like, I just really want in, like, you know, in Videodrome, when James Woods was able to just, you know, like, put a fucking VHS into his own stomach.
Go see a GP, man. Come on.
In Videodrome, when he's got a chussy that he's, like, shoving a VHS cassette in, or sorry, a Betamax.
You ever seen anything like this?
Yeah. So they get called out to this kid that OD'd. Right, and the mom, by the way,
no, not kid.
Well,
this dude's also in his 40s,
a grown man, yeah. But the mother looks like. Speaking of Fight Club, remember the lady that was dying of cancer? Kind of looks like her, Chloe, right? So they go in and.
But you know, if you want easy pussy, you know where you go?
Chloe. Yep.
Yeah.
She puts out for sure.
That was what I took away from Fight Club.
Yeah,
I just want sex all the time. I have toys and I have lubricants.
I'm like, do you have a blindfold?
I mean, hey, this chick self-lubricates with 40 weight, man. That's pretty handy. So, they go in there and he's like, all right, he intubates the guy that's choking on his vomit. And then the mom just like has a fucking grabber and falls on the ground. So he's like, all right, we're going to start doing the Macarena on her chest. Okay. Remember that song, the Macarena? She's like, no, I'm 17, remember? And it's 2021. Although it is France. I don't know how long the staying power.
It just hit.
Yeah, 2005 was a big Macarena year for that. You know, like that was.
Yeah. So she starts, you know, doing the Macarena beat of CPR to the woman's chest and revives her, brings her out of it. Right. So this is one of the 20% of the time CPR works. So they after the fact.
Hard take Eddie over here for
CPR.
Days, huh?
CPR.
Hey, don't waste your time.
CPR not very effective, and usually when it works, you break most of the fucking bones in the rib cage.
Most people don't even know how to fucking do it.
Yeah, no, even if you do it correctly, you'll break.
You're
the
supposed
bones.
to break the bones. That's how you get to the heart.
Yep. That's what I've always said.
Well, I don't know. I've watched a lot of Baywatch.
That's right. You got to break the bone to get to the heart.
Meanwhile, so now Fake Son is the new favorite, and old Brown Noser's pissed. So he's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to Google every wanted felon in France and see if any of them line up to the new person.
I just assumed that he was scrolling through the headlines.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, because she was wanted for, I think at that point, for the fire and the parents' death, right?
The fire, the parents' death, and killing everybody in the house party. Yeah.
Is that what they want her for? I think it's
because the girl got away.
Yeah, the girl called the police and got away, Tim.
Well, no, because before when they're talking on the news, they're talking about a serial killer who's killed a bunch of people in the South.
Yeah, but that's before the party.
Yeah.
So you have a serial killer who's stabbing people with chopsticks in the ear. You have an orgy party where somebody's like, hey, this broad stabbed people in the ear with chopsticks.
Yeah, but I think the one thing that would definitely connect her, would make her look suspicious, would be that her house with her parents burned down in a locked bedroom and she wasn't to be found.
Okay,
plus, on top of that, she's a known person.
Yeah.
She's like, I guess, a minor celebrity.
Yeah, people were getting her autograph, Tim. Now, I know
so it would be hard to track her down.
I know most of the cops that you run into are racist and bad at Madden, but I think that the cops could put together somebody killing people with a chopstick to the ear with somebody who killed people with a chopstick to the ear. And maybe
who also is a minor celebrity.
Who they knew and invited to their house and could name. I mean, I know it's a tricky one, but I don't think you exactly need old Sherlock Holmes.
Did anybody live from that house? Didn't she kill everybody?
No, that one girl got away. Because she hit Titane's head on the wall.
Right,
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
No, hit it on the step. And plus she hid in the room and called the police, remember?
I don't know if she did call the police in that room. We don't know that.
Maybe. Anyhow, we go back to
I think she was just trying to give herself a chopstick abortion, actually.
Oh.
She was also, going through some stuff.
We all have a hard time. Every once in a while, you get a chopstick roto-rooter out your cooze. So he kind of gives her some shit.
Anyhow, just dig around for a little bit.
Hey, look,
a plunger. Less intrusive.
You know what? This is a way more direct route to that dumplings short.
A Masters of Horror?
Yeah, you remember that one too.
Of course I do, yeah.
You could just pull the dumpling straight out with your chopsticks. So now I guess we cut to they're having a rave at the firehouse.
They love the fucking party, right?
Yeah, look, they work hard, but they play hard. It's like the steel mill at the Simpsons.
Yeah.
We didn't skip the part. We didn't skip we didn't skip the part where they went on the training, or it wasn't training. It was like a trailer that was caught on fire.
Oh no, that's coming up right after this.
I got questions about that. What the fuck was that?
I'll tell you what it was. Yeah,
it was Dad getting rid of somebody who knew a little too much. Is what that was.
But was it that?
Okay.
But was it that, or was it that he had cognitive impairment? Because it showed that he did, because he couldn't remember his name. So it leaves it open for interpretation whether or not he meant to kill him.
That's true. So they have a fun rave, and fireman carries her, and she has to play it off like, "Oh, this is fun," when he's airplane spinning her at the party.
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile, her aluminum baby
that's when he knew
is getting crushed. You know.
Well, she's crushing that thing every single day.
Fair, yeah. Oh God, it's gonna come out all fucked up headed. It's gonna look like the brain guy from the Hills Have Eyes remake, just in that chair.
Well, she was already cyst in the traction.
Yeah, that's true. So, then after the party, we cut to Mom showed up, the missing boy's mom, and they just have a real awkward. She just stares.
Because she knows this is total bullshit.
Just within seconds, it was like, this is not our son. Yeah.
Right. So she takes her aside and is like, they're having lunch. And he's like, our kid doesn't talk anymore and is also a 30-year-old woman dressed like a boy that's pregnant.
I looked it up. Everything is kosher. Don't worry.
That's pregnant with the fucking God knows what. Right? Right. No, the mom's like, listen, you're living in this same fucking firehouse smelling our dead kids' toys.
Yeah, what the fuck does that mean? The house still smells. How much was that kid jerking off in that room that it still smells like?
That 7-year-old boy.
Yeah, the 7-year-old just beating his dick, Tim.
You should see.
Let's hope it was a 7-year-old.
That's why everything's so perfectly preserved. It's coated with semen.
It's just glistening. Just looks like
he shellacked it.
It just looks like the top of one of those fruit tarts. How they all have that just layer of shiny snot-looking syrup.
Yeah. The room's like a fucking toaster strudel. Is what you're saying.
Exactly. It's why it's shellacked it.
It looks like the index cards at the library in Ghostbusters. It's just
Yobo's old apartment before he met his wife. The landlord's still like, I know we just can't get that smell out, ma'am. I don't know what it is.
Everything's exactly as it was because we can't move anything.
Exactly how it was. Yeah.
Some sort of toaster strudel musk that's just permeated for years.
So they're having their fun little conversation about you need to knock this shit up. She leaves. She's got to let her tits out for a minute. Starts scratching her stomach, and this is when she pops through and gets to that nice chrome womb. And she's just starts having the labor pains and shit. And she's like, look, dude, fucking stop with this pain. What the fuck? Then she tips back and her titties are leaking out oil.
Yep.
And
she's squeezing it out.
It's a real I Love Lucy scenario because they start knocking on the door.
Yeah.
And she's like,
convey with chocolate.
Ethel, don't come in here.
Yeah.
I'm lactating oil.
Oh, God. That car loved Lucy.
Lucy.
You got some explaining to do.
I don't think it's mine.
My Mother Was a Car show started?
Oh, God. So then Mom busts open
Herbie,
the door.
You don't even want to know about Herbie the Love Bug, Tim. You don't even want to know.
He was a love
little
bug.
bastard, wasn't he?
Herbie fucked. Let me tell you. He's got little Herbies all over the place, man.
Oh, in that show, My Strange Addiction, they had someone who fucked cars, and he said that he fucked Herbie the Love Bug. The actual Herbie the Love Bug.
It's a pretty good get.
Would he just snuck into where it was parked?
I don't know. He didn't go through the logistics. He was just like, he's like, I've slept with so many different cars. He's like, including Herbie the Love Bug.
What
the
a
real
star
one.
effer, man.
Slept with? Wait, who?
Jesus.
At that point, why would you even say the phrase "I slept with"? I fucked that car.
Yeah, that was mutual.
You fuck the car, then cut up Herbie and sleep with him.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, you can claim to fuck celebrity cars because it's not like they're going to say no.
That's true.
And you also can't get turned down by them.
Once.
It's not like they're going to say no. I remember watching a documentary. It was like, So I Married the Eiffel Tower or something. It was about that crazy French again. Fucking the Eiffel Tower. And I remember there was a dude that fucked Airwolf on it. And he just seemed like the happiest, most well-adjusted person ever.
What does it really constitute, the fucking? It's like, are you close to it? And that you can say, "Oh, I fucked it."
I think you put
your actually taking your dick out and stick it into a fucking helicopter.
Yep, that's what he did. He took his dick out, rubbed it against the helicopter, ejaculated onto it, and then left. Slapped its ass and left.
He's just running his dick against the fucking side of the helicopter.
Mm-hmm. And then he said, "Now you're my girlfriend."
Yeah.
And he walked away.
No, but think about that. Like, as far as celebrities go, he fucked his celebrity crush.
Yeah, he got Herbie. Yeah.
No, he got Airwolf.
Oh, he got herpes. He got herpes from Herbie.
He got herpes from Herbie.
Oh, God, yeah. You don't even want to know where that car's been.
They're Herbies.
Around here, we call them speed bumps.
Oh, God damn it. No, that was the joke of this hour.
Well, it's a different hour, so it's okay. So Mom's like, busts in there and looks at Oil Tits and is like, listen, I don't know what the fuck you've got going on.
At this point, you're not, I wasn't 100% sure if it was actually happening or if it was all in her head until the mom walks in and grabs her stomach and squeezes it. Yeah. So shows that,
He's like, listen.
Power move, huh?
I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Just don't hurt that guy. All right?
He's real messed up.
He's probably more fucked up than you are, and you have oil coming out of your nipples.
Alimony checks.
Oh,
it's gotta be a grift.
Come on, that's a fucked up thing, right? I think we're all married, right? We all love our husbands and wives. Even if we got to would you be like, yeah, okay, you know what, honey? Just take care of them, okay?
I mean, if it was this funny, I might.
I just love this idea because, like, she walks into the room and grabs Alexia's stomach and brings it towards her, and she says, "Do you know what it's like to never be allowed to mourn your own child?" And Tim's first thought is, "Oh, this bitch just wants checks."
This is a
That's
con.
what it is. Yep, this is a con.
Oh, pain and suffering.
So that whole situation wraps up. Cut to later. She's walking down the hallway and sees the bathroom door open, and her father with his ass hanging out, bent over,
like the ultimate warrior, right?
Yeah. He's just hulking up over the sink, and she's like, "Well, I should probably pop in here and see what's going on because my dad's ass is hanging out and he's bent over the sink." So she pops in, and he's like, "Oh, hey, I can't quite see back here. You mind?"
Yeah, I'm tired. He said, "I'm tired of doing the twist."
Oh, yeah.
He's so buff, it's hard to reach, you know? Like, those muscles are getting big.
You mind shooting me up in my ass with steroids, fake kid?
She nopes the fuck out of there at first.
She's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. And he's like, no, it's easy. Check it out. So she starts injecting him with it. And then
she does it like a pro. The way she fucking pops that fucking syringe into her mouth, right?
Oh, yeah,
Also, I want to point out that this is the first time she ever speaks in front of him. Because she says, "Are you sick?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
It, like, pretty much in your face, like, yeah, I'm a woman.
Right.
I'm not your son.
So
but I'll pretend to be.
And in the middle
I mean, look, how old was his son when he disappeared? Maybe his voice didn't change. So he doesn't.
Damn.
Yeah,
because you talked like this when you were a kid, right, Jeff?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was 6 years old, this is exactly what I sounded like.
I don't have... I don't have a lot of room to talk because from what I've heard when I was a baby, I had a voice like this.
Yeah, that's what you said before, that your voice has never changed.
In your head, yeah.
Well, no, because my dad said at the nursery in the hospital, they weren't afraid of mistaking me for the other kids and getting a mix-up. A, because my head was larger than all theirs, but B, because all the other babies are in there, wah, wah, and then you hear me, wah.
Did that baby smoke a pack a day while he was in the womb?
He sounds like a fucking Christopher Nolan sound effect.
The kid keeps making beaten off jokes. I don't know what the fuck we're doing here. So, yeah, in the middle of injecting it, though, he's like, stop, and he bats her away real quick. And then they just kind of have like a tender, I think there's going to be a reach around going on moment where she's up behind him and just kind of like he starts kissing her and gets like right up in her face. And he's like, listen, I'm going to take care of you. You don't take care of me. Now sit down. And I'm like, oh, he's going to try to suck her not dick. Because he gets down on his knees in front of her.
Surprise!
Yeah, surprise. Not only is it not a penis, it's a vagina, and it's oily.
And shiny.
And he's like, I got a surprise for you. And I'm like, oh, God, no. And he's like, no, that's cool. We're going to make your facial hair start growing in. And he rubs shaving cream on her face and just starts shaving her face.
Yeah, like he thinks that if he shaves her face, it's going to start growing back, like that old myth. That if you shave a baby's head.
At the end of the movie, she does have some stubble on her upper lip.
That's true, yeah. She does have a little peach fuzz on her upper lip.
I'm not joking, for real.
No, you can.
He's murdered it, yeah.
Yeah. I used to love that old myth of like, if you shaved and the grow hair's back twice as thick, then just start bicking your head when you go bald.
Yeah, I got in trouble at a job one time because this guy, we were like breaking down boxes, and this guy says that, and the manager was there too, and I just look at him and I go, "That's the most retarded thing I've ever heard."
Oh boy!
The manager's like, "Candice, you can't say stuff like that." Yeah. And I'm like, "Well, it's
Candice,
fucking
we're
true."
in Missouri, and you can't say things like that.
Candice,
wow, holy shit! And that was like 20 years ago too.
Candice, I think
you're too woke for Missouri.
Yeah, the guy's like, Candice, I think you're done volunteering here at the Special Olympics. We already gave your friend an award, so can you just go?
I was just so shocked that an adult could say something so stupid.
There are a great many adults that still believe that shit, Candice.
Yes, I know.
A great many adults. Not an instant. In fact, let's run a poll and see how many people just on fucking Twitter believe that shit. And I mean, I know Twitter is like, a collecting ground for morons on the internet, but that's a good shot.
Yeah.
So, he just starts shaving her face. Now we cut to, Mike, what you were talking about. They're out like fighting a forest fire, I guess.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was a real forest fire or they're training.
Yeah,
because I think it's a real one because
it's real.
During that news broadcast in the beginning of the movie, they mentioned a forest fire.
Yeah. How do you set that up as a fucking test? Just pretend
late on the scene. Sorry,
set half the fucking forest on fire.
Yeah. You only set half the forest on fire, and then you do the test, and then when it's over, you just put it out.
Yeah.
No?
It makes sense.
But if this was a real, so if this forest fire was, raging for weeks, it's like, guys, what have we been doing here?
Yeah.
I guess it's reached their area at this point. I don't know.
Well, the guy was too busy adopting a new fake son to come out and fight the forest fire. The captain of the firehouse.
You're all tied up in that rave.
Yeah.
He has all these missed calls on his phone.
He's like, listen, I have to do a weird incest dance with my new old kid. Can we?
Yeah. This is the French are wild, man. Yeah. They're public services. They're like, yeah, we put out your fire, man, but the chief just found his son who he thinks is kind of like a Jesus-like figure, and so he's got to do some sexy dancing with him or her.
Listen, We'll come put it out, but yeah, the captain's got to go try to kind of maybe fuck his fake son that came back. That's really a 30-year-old woman that's pregnant with a car thing. So
love this movie. Just try to describe
we'll see you
this
later.
movie.
Yeah. So this is what they go into the trailer and he finds a propane tank in the middle of a forest fire. So he goes up to Brown Noser. He's like, "Here, hold this for a second. I got to get away from you."
Yeah. And the dude just stands there in the middle of this forest fire holding a propane tank.
Yeah. And then cut to this massive explosion in the woods. And I'm like, hey, I wonder what that is.
Yep.
And
it, like I said, it established that the chief was having cognitive difficulties because he couldn't remember the Brown Noser's name.
Yeah,
and then he
hands
him it, and the dude's like, "Are we supposed to secure this?" And he's like, "Here, just hold this." And you can't. So it's kind of ambiguous on whether or not he meant to kill him.
Yeah, I took it as he was just fooling around, like he
fooling around.
But yeah, he's just fooling around, playing with the boys.
Some firehouse pranks.
This prank is going to be hilarious.
I thought he was just doing that on purpose, Candice. That he was trying to play like he had lost his mind. So then when he told him to hold that,
right, plausible deniability.
Yeah. Gotcha. In case he survived.
Right. So we cut back home after the fire, where our hero is. She has a nice little shower, and I also like the fact that the guy's got protein supplements in the bathroom. Like, I guess he's whipping up protein shakes in the bathroom.
Write that down, Tim. It's a good way to make a protein shake. Just do it in the shower. Yeah. He's on mute right now, everybody. He's just got his creatine.
What?
Tim would do the Rocky diet.
I just took a shot in my ass.
Tim, we were saying he keeps a lot of like protein shake ingredients in his shower. You should do that too, because then you just get it right in the morning. You know what I mean?
Yep. First thing, morning shit.
I've had plenty of protein released in the shower when I was a teenager. So.
But you got to recover that protein if you're bulking, Tim. Morning shit, morning shake.
That's true, yeah. I'm getting to the age, it just doesn't keep making itself anymore.
So I understand the clog, for whatever reason, these drains will never unclog in this apartment. I don't know. There was a 16-year-old
Yobo
that
comes up.
Yeah. There's a half alligator, half human
water
down there. Oh, God.
Where do you think Ratman came from?
Oh,
They told us, man, that
they aren't albino alligators.
They're Irish. They're Irish alligators.
An Irish alligator? No thanks.
It just burns instantly in sunlight.
It's just down there trying to start fights with all the sewer rats. Waiting for somebody to huck a whiskey bottle into the sewer.
It's fermenting garbage.
Just doing jankum in the sewers. So, she comes out of the shower and he comes stumbling in because he's trying to get his fucking breakfast smoothie or whatever. And sees what's going on with her. Gives her a little hug, reels back, and then the towel falls off of her. Mm-hmm. So you can see them luscious mammaries protruding.
That are all clawed up. And
his son is holding the towel, should be, right?
Yeah, that's also weird, right? And
you don't cover your nips when you get out of the shower, Tim?
I like them cold and hard, so no.
Oh, okay.
So he just, gives her a once over and then looks up and says, "Look, I really don't care who you are, but you're always going to be my son, whoever you are. You get that, right? You don't have to keep pretending here. It was a terrible disguise, you idiot."
Plus, her body is mutilated at this point. With bruises, scratch marks.
Yeah, from just getting the shit beat out of her, the stomach protruding, the wrapping is fucking up her chest. And it's not looking great. That's for sure. So he picks up the towel for her, wraps her around. He's like, "I'm going to go make breakfast or whatever. Meet me back at the firehouse rave." Yeah.
With wine.
I'm making up some breakfast fettuccine and wine. And then we're going to go to another rave at the firehouse.
Yeah, this firehouse is rocking.
Yeah, this is a crazy ass fucking. They're all fucking tripping, right?
Well, yeah, they have a mosh pit going now at the firehouse.
And their friend died.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a party. That's how they celebrate.
Oh, well, he was a brown noser. I bet nobody liked him.
No, you know what? Maybe this is a competitive mosh pit to now see who takes his place.
Who's the new son? But the new son is here.
They're establishing a new pecking order.
Well, the new son shows up, and then everybody pays attention because she gets on top of a fire truck.
Talk about jaw dropping.
Yeah, she gets up on top of this fire truck, right?
No, they push her up on top of the fire truck.
They're all like, speech. And then somebody's like, I have an idea. Why don't we put on some nice sexy music for this dude?
Like, what were they expecting to happen?
Do you think they were just trying to humiliate her?
I don't know.
I
think it was just on play. I don't think they put. I don't think
they were just fucking
DJ
around
at this rave.
Yeah, I think it was just having
Wait, you
fun.
don't think this was diegetic? You thought this was just for the movie that they were all just dancing around to no music, Tim?
There's no music.
No, they're dancing around music, but I think like whoever put iPod on, they put the wrong playlist, and that was the next song that was up.
Oh, we've all been there.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like, I don't know how this one got on the list.
So they got to the end of the Spotify playlist for the rave music, and they did that other suggestions thing.
Yeah.
And
songs to finger bang to is the next playlist.
God.
After the rave.
Yeah, it went to the heavy petting playlist. So then
we win that house party orgy.
She just starts like Juliette Lewis from Natural Born Killers dancing. Is the only reference I could pull.
Gyrating, and she's
she
like
probably did leave a pussy hair on the hood of that car though.
She's like twerking, and she like does that like split lap thing where she like spreads her legs open real wide.
Yeah,
doing the same dance from the beginning of the movie. Yeah.
There's a lot of very confused faces in the crowd.
Yeah, every guy is like, "What the fuck is he doing?"
They're like, I mean, maybe.
Nobody's looking away.
Yeah. Nobody's looking, and we are friends. So
they're all just so confused.
There is an extra who, like, he's kind of looking from between his fingers, and he keeps glancing away, like, this is a disaster, and I can't watch, but I can't look away at the same time.
If we ever have the Grindbin / Bloody Bits meetup,
God, Tim's going to do this dance.
Rent the fire truck, I'll do this.
Tim, you're going to throw out both hips and your back.
Yeah. And he's still, for some reason, going to tape down his tits and his stomach.
Yeah.
No, by that time, the steroids are really kicked in. Don't worry.
He's going to rip out of his shirt.
keeps doing the dance. Dad shows up. Is like, what the hell's going on in here? Just takes a look up at the...
Everybody's looking at him, looking up. Like, what the
at their son, and they're all like, what are you going to do about this, dude? What's... and he like
because the pretend son sees the dad and then just keeps dancing and is like, I fucking him.
Yeah. And then the dad pulls the move I would probably pull, which is I'm out of here later. Just leaves. And then I guess none of these men at the fire department could handle the job because then we just cut to her fucking a fire truck.
I told you she's a size queen.
Yeah, started with the little car, worked her way up to the bus, now the fire truck. She's going to be on fucking aircraft carriers by the end of the movie.
Yeah, you had a bonus, another car fucking scene. Was not expecting that. I thought we were done with that.
Yeah, this one wasn't
and
nearly...
it's a great angle, too, though. It's because it's through, like, the side view mirror, and you can just see her just bouncing up and down on the fire.
What exactly is she fucking in the car?
Don't know. They never explain how she does it.
Yeah.
I don't know, too. Maybe you gotta if you lick a shifting knob, it starts to grow a little bit. I don't know.
There's this magical realism touch to it with the car fucking and the miracle baby and everything.
Yeah, I would say with the getting pregnant by a car, there's a magical realism.
True. I thought this was a documentary.
That's a good point, Candice. Thanks for pointing that out.
Tim was like, "Can you do that?"
So she busts, and then she's sitting bare-assed on the floor in here, which that bothered me. But she did just fuck a truck, so who cares?
Well, what's one more oil stain on the garage floor?
It's a good point. She puts down clitty litter to soak it up, I guess. I don't know.
God damn it.
And her stomach's like ripping open, and you're seeing more metal womb. Meanwhile, Dad's at home. He's like, well, my daughter-son thing is twerking in front of the boys. Guess I'm going to just drink myself to death. So he takes a big old swig of booze and then just spits it on his stomach and then lights it on fire.
Yeah, he genuinely, it's all one take. He genuinely lights his shirt on fire.
Yeah.
And it's not a small fire either.
No, he kind of lays there like, ah, shit, I'm on fire, and then tries to put it out.
If only I was a fireman, I knew what to do.
Yeah.
Oh, let me start pushing at it with the fucking rag. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, he couldn't stop because he was already laying down. He couldn't drop because he was already laying down. I guess just roll. So she goes into labor. And she's like stumbling naked around outside, finally makes it back into the little house at the fire station, stumbles her way in to go give birth to whatever the fuck this thing is, goes into her dad's room where he's laying there now with a burnt shirt next to him, I guess. And she just...
Yeah, and this is when it starts to become... like a Catholic mystical experience because like choral music starts playing during this time.
Yeah.
And they're both like completely nude and they're like wrestling with each other because he's trying to pin her down and help her go, give birth. And so it looks like one of those Renaissance paintings where you can't tell where one body begins and the other ends.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and this is when she says, I love you to him too.
Oh yeah. She starts kissing his stomach.
Yeah. And you think
and then she tries to kiss him. And he doesn't like that and he's about to leave.
Yep.
Which was weird. So it's like, I don't know.
What let her die, I guess. I don't
know.
He said before that he would kill himself before hurting them, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
But then he comes back when she's on the bed, just like huge stomach, trying to she's going into some sort of car labor.
Yeah.
And if this was you, Eddie, you'd be like, well, I got to see what happens next.
Would you lift her up onto a jack?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
It's a good idea, Candice. Yeah.
Get under the hood.
Do you call it
the jaws of life to get that?
Is that the C-section with the jaws of life?
Did they call a mechanic or OBGYN?
Exactly.
So, then he comes back in. Flips her over. So flips her over, right? And then he gets the jumper cables out, he's gonna
puts on each tit.
And then I just have it looks like my wife and my first time because he's like trying to muscle her legs open and she's like fighting it. And he's like, you'll be okay, all right? You'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're like, I won't hurt you.
Yeah.
Trust me, I will never hurt you.
Yeah. It'll all be done in a minute, maybe a minute 50, because you're slowing me down because you got all the weird claw marks and your tits are kind of dragging. So
I never learned to hear this, but too much lubrication.
Yeah. It's too wet down here.
There's also just like oil at this point just spilling out of her.
Oh, it comes out of her mouth too, yeah. And then her scar on the side of her head rips open. Her stomach rips open even more. And then she just fucking dies. Just lays out on the bed, fucking dead.
Her warranty ran out.
Why didn't he try to give her a jump?
I think he did. Idea. That's the problem. It was all the kissing. So then you just hear this baby crying. And he picks it up. And she lays down, she's like, how is it first? And he's like, oh, it's perfect.
Wait, you're dead. How can you ask me that question?
Well, she didn't die yet. She asked how it is first, then she dies.
Okay.
So then he picks it up, he wraps it up, and it's like, oh, he's finally got his baby,
It looks like a baby from a Judas Priest album, right?
He has a new beginning.
Because it's got a metal spine, and when it turns, it's also got the little metal plate on the side of its head that it inherited from...
How is this kid growing up? Is that metal going to grow as the kid grows?
Who knows?
I think you're worried about the logistics of it.
For real. I'm wondering. For real. That baby's got a fucking metal spine, like a zipper, and a plate in his head. Mm-hmm. What happens when that kid is 6 years old?
So is it malleable?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, you got me.
Cyber organic thing
for that kid.
Hey, better question. How did that car get her pregnant?
Yeah.
Tim?
How does she fuck the cars?
Does the car have visiting rights?
Yeah, the Cadillac. If there was only a scene where the Cadillac showed up and she was fucking the fire truck, and he's like, "Wait, what the fuck?"
It zooms the engine and honks.
You fucking slut.
Now the Cadillac's paying child support payments. Gets to see the kid on the weekends.
It's crazy because the kid is red.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we do cut to 5 years later, and the Cadillac's in court trying to get custody.
It doesn't show it, but the kid's got those sweet fire flames going up its sides.
Oh, that would rule. That's what the fuck is that strip joint Jiggles still around up in Portland, Mike?
I'm not familiar with Jiggles.
Okay.
All right. Nice save, Mike. Nice. All right.
That's a loaded question.
Here we go. I'll look it up.
Tangentially related. That's where my buddy Steve got a lap dance from this chick that had racing stripes tattooed on her.
Oh.
Permanently closed. It was in Tualatin. Unfortunately, Jiggles. Yeah.
It
even has a Wikipedia page. It was so infamous, apparently.
Yeah, that place was funny. So, that's then he just lays there.
Whoa. Okay, this became a famous strip club, Eddie, because some kid, a 19-year-old kid, it was his Make-A-Wish was to go there.
Well, there was this one chick in there.
How far Make-A-Wish can go.
Yeah. There was this one chick in there that had, I don't know how she did it. I think I've told this one before. But she could put matchsticks in her nipple piercings and then light them on fire.
That's right. You have told us about that before.
Yeah, that was Jiggles in Portland. So that's maybe that was part of the Make-A-Wish.
That's Cabela's now.
Oh, she was lighting his birthday cake.
Yeah, blow out the candles. So then he just lays there with the baby, and he's like, "Oh, I'm here," and then
I'm here. Yeah.
Credits. That's Titane.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Titane.
What a journey!
I don't know what the fuck we watched, but we liked it.
No, it's fantastic, and it's interesting. I listened to some interviews with the writer and director, and she's talking about how she loves. Well, first of all, she's like, how is it you can have Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men, be a male character that can just go out killing people and not explain it, not give a good reason, and that's fine. That makes a compelling character, but you never see that with female characters. So that was part of the inspiration for the beginnings of the character. But then she talks about how it's difficult to humanize that, and as a protagonist, keep that as who you're following. So that's where the body horror elements kind of help, because everybody can relate with, even if you've never had a hand cut off, you see it and you're like, oh, fuck, So you kind of relate with that.
That's interesting. I didn't think about that, but you're right. It's a great storytelling device to get you to feel sympathy for a complete sociopath serial killer. Yeah, that's actually really interesting.
Yeah, it's almost like it's a really well-written movie.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a fantastic movie. I do think it deserved to win the Palme d'Or.
Mm-hmm.
I think
it deserved the ovation, because they were standing there clapping their hands saying, what the fuck did we just watch?
Yeah, very well executed. She's got another movie that's in post-production right now, and I, for one, can't wait to see what the hell that is, because if Raw and this are any indicator of her direction that she's going, then...
She's a heavy hitter.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that one. So, yeah, go out and watch it if you haven't already. Even if with it completely spoiled, you're never going to believe it. So
yeah.
Can't spoil it enough.
Yeah. So I think that about wraps it up then. Mike, thanks so much for suggesting this one and joining us. We're kicking into June, which we're doing for the theme Harvest June, a month of...
Wow.
Do you want to guess what? Yeah, Tim spoiled it. It's folk horror.
Farm horror. I like doing that.
Folk horror, Tim.
I said farm. That's why I wasn't
farm.
Folk horror or farm horror?
Farm horror, Tim. What the fuck? It's just going to be Children of the Corn. That's it.
Yeah.
There's enough movies to do a whole month.
We're going to be doing Blood Harvest.
Yeah, and then after that, July, we're going to be kicking into Big Dumb Action Month, which I can't fucking wait for.
It's also 3-year anniversary.
That's true. 3-year anniversary in July, so stay tuned for that one. But Mike, if people had fun listening to you and sometimes Tim, maybe even me, and they're like, man, where can we get some more stuff kind of like this? Maybe a little more professional. What would you think what would you suggest for them on the internet to pay attention
over on the Grindbin? We got a Candice episode coming up pretty soon. So that'll be fun. And Tim's got a few picks coming up, so that'll be some
finally
fun stuff.
And Eddie's is a Patreon. Yeah.
He picks a movie every 3 months. And Eddie will be on the show too soon. I got to actually.
Some incest movies coming up.
Oh, God.
No, he's picked his own movie that he wants to do. So.
Oh, we're doing that. I thought we were doing the winner of the poll.
Yeah, you're doing that one too.
Oh, I'm doing both of them. Okay, great. So I get my own
double
pick.
Dipping.
I get my own pick.
Should we see
sloppy seconds as well? How about
Let's see what movie are you doing for the poll?
What won the poll? That's
Hard Bodies one.
Hard Bodies, yes.
We're doing Hard Bodies.
So that'll be fun. All right, so check them out at patreon.com/grindbin, or you can just look up the Grindbin Podcast anywhere you find podcasts on the internet. What about you, Candice? What do you suggest people pay attention to?
Just the same old shit at HorrorHoochie69 on Instagram and Twitter.
And you can follow Tim at Yobo Gold on Twitter. You can follow me at Eddie the Axe, or our official podcast that I never use Twitter account at Bloody Bits. You can also sign up for our Patreon at patreon.com/bloodybits, where you can get access to the blood bank with nearly 6,000 movies
and TV shows. And can't stress this enough. Request.
Yeah.
Right? Request.
Yep.
That's it. Pay enough money, request the movie, it'll be on the blood bank within 24, 48 hours.
Yeah. So some of the titles that we've added recently to the blood bank. Where's Officer's Tuba? A police officer tracks down a murderous criminal gang with the help of the ghost of his former partner, who was shot by the same group.
Is it a Hong Kong movie?
From 1986, yes.
Yes.
All right.
We've also got, let's see here, Chain Reaction. Ooh, this looks good. A group of convicts and a doctor seek refuge from the authorities in a lodge deep in the woods, but the weird inhabitants are not friendly. That's from 2006. That's got to be good, right?
Ooh, sounds like Hicksploitation horror.
Old movie.
And we've also got Future Kick from 1991.
Future Kick.
Starring
Kick your ass into the future.
Starring Don the Dragon Wilson.
Oh, damn.
Hell yes.
Yeah, Chris Penn's in it. Oh, dude, this looks Meg Foster. Holy
what is this
shit.
Oh, Freaky Eye Lady.
Yeah, it's called Future Kick. On the Earth in the future, Don the Dragon Wilson takes on a sinister corporation that trades in black market human body parts. He single-handedly manages to restore law and order in a motion picture tour de force. Guaranteed.
Well, if he's doing it single-handedly, maybe he needs the people who are selling body parts.
He can get a couple extra hands. That's a good point, Tim. Guaranteed to thrill sci-fi and martial arts fans alike. That is not guaranteed by any stretch of the imagination. You can check that all out at patreon.com/bloodybits. So, Mike, thank you so much for joining us to talk about this. It has been a pleasure as always. But for Tim and Candice, and for Tim and Candice, folks, this is how we end it. Goodbye.